Ilhan Omar, for the very first time in her public life, has been facing serious allegations and investigations into these allegations, into her mysterious wealth gain since she's been in the Congress, especially in the aftermath of the Nick Shirley reporting on the Leering Center $19 billion Somali pirate theft ring that the Democrats have going on in Minnesota. And, she came into Congress with a negative net worth, and now she's worth at minimum $30 million, according to public disclosures. There's one story that I saw yesterday that people were looking at. It's this winery that she and her husband own. They invested $15,000, I read this morning, into this winery, and that $15,000 investment is now valued at $5 million. And this successful investment track record is better than Paul Pelosi's. It's even better than the Clintons during the Whitewater scandal days. And while there's another story saying that the Biden Justice Department was looking into this, don't buy that. There was no worry that the Biden, and if Kamala won, the Kamala Harris Justice Department would pursue this. Now with the Trump administration and the Nick Shirley Leering Center financial scandal in Minnesota that's been going on, the largest financial scandal in history, there's real investigations going on into everything involving the Democrats and the Somali community in Minnesota, and her immigration status, because of questions about how she got her immigration status originally when she first entered the United States, and then this incredible amount of wealth she's accumulated on this public servant salary. And what has people questioning what happened with Ilhan Omar at this event is, I think, mainly her reaction when it happened. I'm going to play you the video in a moment. The guy rushes up, and he has a syringe with, it looks like a yellow substance in it, a dark yellow substance in it, and he sprays her with it. And he sprayed her right in the center of her chest. And, if you're spraying someone with a chemical to do damage, do you spray it on their chest? You would be aiming for their face, wouldn't you? But he hit the chest. Now you could write that off to, he panicked and he was nervous and he had bad aim. But what has people calling this into question is her reaction. And my reaction, if I had someone spray a substance on me, whether it was a liquid, a powder, or anything, and it hit me in the chest, or any part of my body, but I'm talking about the chest because this is where she was hit, my immediate reaction would be this: call the paramedics. I would go to the restroom. I would hold my breath as if that would do any good, take off the shirt I was wearing, and immediately start washing my face, hands, and body off in the sink of the washroom or the bathroom or the restroom until the paramedics arrived. And I think that's a normal reaction. But her reaction was very different. And, it's not just about your personal safety. You don't know what that chemical is. You've also got to worry about the people around you in the room, right? But not Ilhan Omar. She stood her ground and had her fight moment like President Trump, or at least attempted to. So I'll play you the video. You see that? You can see it. It hits her in the chest. See that? Right in the chest. That's Ilhan Omar with the effing a-hole. I need a napkin. Okay, so there you have it. So what are your thoughts? Is this real? or is it Memorex? And I know that a lot of people might come out and say, well, President Trump in Butler, when he got shot, he got up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." That was his reaction was much different, right? First of all, he didn't get right up. He was down. He ducked. He was on the ground. You could hear him talking with the Secret Service. "Where are my shoes?" They wanted to carry him out. He said no. And when he got up, you could see not just the blood on his face, but you could see that he was the distress in his face. You could see it, right? And you could tell there was something wrong there. The reaction was just very strange. This is Joe Pags. Joe Pags is a good guy. I like Joe Pags. And he shows the video from different angles. And I did retweet this Joe Pags clip on my X, Brian Craig Show on X. He shows it from multiple angles. You see that? She goes off like she's going to fight the guy. Hear that? Now here's where things are going to get interesting. Listen to what Joe Pags says here. Yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think about this? Okay, so so it's up to, well, it's up to a variety of people now, right? This is FBI territory, so we've got the Justice Department involved. Homeland Security very well may be involved. This is a Homeland Security incident as well, because of the substance and a federal official, and it's outside the Capitol. So we've got the Trump administration now are in charge of this. This is going to be the big test for Kash Patel. Kash Patel. Now, the guy that squirted the substance right in the center of her chest, as you saw there, we don't have any confirmation on him with his social media. Of course, they immediately call him right-wing. Everybody bad in America is some right-wing fanatic, according to the press and the Democrats. There have been people looking for his social media. His social media has not been positively identified yet, so anything you've seen online right now is not confirmed. That as of the moment that I'm speaking to you right now, I've been up for hours researching this and everything else. So none of that has been confirmed yet by any mainstream media outlet that I trust or investigators with the FBI. So we don't know. There's some reporting from some of the liberal media outlets, of course, that he's a MAGA guy, posted some positive things about Trump and negative things about Ilhan Omar. But one of the things you got to look at is where did this happen? Right? How many MAGA people are there in Minnesota? And Laura Loomer, let me pull up. Laura Loomer on Twitter said this on X. This is the most staged thing I've ever seen in my life. This is Loomer. I'm calling for an immediate investigation into whether Ilhan Omar staged the spraying of her body at her town hall tonight to distract from new reports over her marriage fraud and accumulation of $30 million. That's Laura Loomer on X. And the president himself said that he thinks that it probably was a staged thing, that it wasn't real. And when the president says that, I mean, he's been briefed at least a little bit based on what they knew at the time by important people that are in the know. So this wasn't just the president just saying something. What the president said is probably one of the most informed statements that we've heard so far out of this. So if you're on hold, stand by. The radio show will be starting in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to take the calls when the radio show starts. But, you know, there's a number of questions here, and some of these questions, hold on a second here, I guess I got to find out what to... This is a yes or there's really, I want to keep it to the yes or no, and you're welcome to call me. The number's toll free and it's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Do you believe it was real or not? Yes or no? Was this real? Yes or no? That, you know, to kind of keep it clear, you're welcome to call me. Now, I will take calls on this, and of course you can call me regardless of what side you're on this. But, you know, please be responsible in what you say and watch your language a little bit. We are going to, you know, the radio show will be starting shortly. And we need to keep it radio safe and respectful, all right? Let me see here. The radio stations tell me exactly what time we're going to be coming on. So stand by, and if you're on hold, you hang in there. I will take the calls when we after we start the radio show. Okay, we got a couple of minutes. Okay, so hang in there, guys. Obviously we don't know definitively yet, but it doesn't look normal to me. The way she reacted to this is not normal. The way she reacted is not like somebody who's just been sprayed with a substance. Now, all of us that are public people have had run-ins with people. I've had run-ins many times. Those of you that came to our inauguration party last year for the president at Wings Plus, if you were there, you saw me confronted by a lunatic listener. And you can see it gets a little hairy. However, he didn't spray me with a substance. You know, when somebody... You know, when someone sprays you with a substance, you're in a whole nother area because you don't know what they sprayed on you. You don't know if it's poison. You don't know if it's what it is. So the immediate reaction, you know, there's some things that are human instinct, right? Human instinct. We have instincts. And when you're sprayed with something like that, the human instinct is to immediately get out of those clothes and wash it off. That is a human instinct on your chest like that. Now, if it was in the face and it got in your eyes, you know, there might be stinging involved and pain and discomfort. But you know, she had a lot of clothes on. She obviously wasn't in any pain when it happened. Your immediate reaction is, this is deadly, this is dangerous, this is poison, I need to get these clothes off of my body and wash my body off. That is the natural human instinct. Okay? I cannot fathom in my wildest imagination anyone in a situation like that was legit being anything other than, let me get the clothes off my body and wash my body off. Do you agree with that? So if you're on hold, stand by. We have 1 minute until the radio show begins. I'll have to open up, and on the radio, I'll go over the story, and then we'll go to the phones. So if you're on hold, hang in there. The phones are busy. And if you are on hold, you'll have your spot. I'm going to take the calls in the order in which they were received. All right? So stand by. If you're new, my name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And all of you that are subscribed, please please like the video and take the link and share on all your social media, if you don't mind. And invite your friends and followers on social media to check out the show. All right, we got 15 seconds. Welcome to the program, everyone. It is Wednesday morning. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Welcome, one and all. Okay, there was a big event, a big news event happened yesterday that, of course, we're going to cover, the Ilhan Omar incident. And for those that have not seen the news yet, let's go over this. This is Fox News, and then we'll discuss it. There are already people on hold. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go to the phone shortly. This is Fox News. Ilhan Omar hit with unknown spray at Minneapolis Town Hall. So Ilhan Omar's at this town hall in a small room in Minneapolis. She's trashing Kristi Noem, and a guy gets up. He has a syringe in his hand. It has some type of yellow liquid in it, and he sprays it on Ilhan Omar, and it hits her right in the chest. Fox News, Ilhan Omar held a town hall Tuesday evening in her home district amid recent shootings involving federal immigration agents and local agitators in Minneapolis. The event started out mostly uneventful until someone attacked the congresswoman with some sort of chemical spray that had a foul odor, according to those close by. Ilhan Omar said that it smelled really bad. Others there said it smelled like vinegar, but we don't know what the substance was. Those nearby Omar wanted her to leave, but Omar refused and continued on. "Please don't let them have the show," Omar could be heard saying after she was hit with the foul-smelling spray. "We will continue. These effing A-blanks are not going to get away with this. Here is the reality, that people like this ugly man don't understand," Omar said as she returned to the microphone. "We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us." Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks, Omar said, following the attack of this unknown spray on her body from this syringe. "It is important for me to continue to lead my Democratic colleagues in demanding Noem's resignation." Okay, and you're going to see this video nonstop over the next 24 hours. It's everywhere. And the question is, was this real or staged? And this is a very legitimate question because of what's been going on in Minnesota, what's been going on with Ilhan Omar, and her reaction to the event. Now, you got to understand, this Somali pirate scandal that was reported by Nick Shirley that turned the world upside down is the largest financial scandal in history, a minimum of $19 billion with a B in thievery going on with the Somali pirates. And, of course, we know the Democrats put this all together. It's been reported multiple times that Ilhan Omar sponsored the legislation that led to the programs that they were stealing from. We've also been hearing widely for the 2-3 weeks that this has all been going on in Minneapolis, is that this was put together, these violent acts by Tim Walz to avoid prosecution. Ilhan Omar, for the very first time in the last couple of weeks, is facing serious investigation about her immigration status and her miraculous $30 million wealth that she's accumulated. There was a story that I read this morning, this winery, and her husband was not wealthy when they got married, by the way, that her and her husband, this story I read this morning, her and her husband invested $15,000 into this winery That $15,000 investment is now valued at $5 million. So there's real investigation going on here into her immigration status and her financial dealings. And her, remember, she had a negative net worth when she first got elected to the House of Representatives. And now she's worth over $30 million to these bizarro things. And her increase in wealth and her investments have a greater return than the Clintons during Whitewater, by far. And her financial success appears to be far greater than even the financial investments of Paul Pelosi, if you catch my drift on that. So that, and this incident, the reason people are questioning whether or not this was real or staged is a number of things. But the main one is her reaction. Her reaction was not normal with this substance. You know, there are some things that are human instinct. Human instinct. Okay? And when this guy went up and sprayed her with this liquid in the syringe, this dark yellow liquid, he hit her right in the chest, over her, on her clothing. Didn't hit her in the face, hit her in the chest. And you might be able to say, well, he had bad aim. You know, if somebody's looking to do something like that, they don't aim for the chest. They aim for the face. Maybe he was aiming, maybe got nervous and missed. That you could argue. But the natural human instinct, if someone does this to you, either sprays a liquid substance out of a syringe on you or throws some powder on you, what would you do? What would the natural human instinct reaction be? She first went after the guy to punch him. He was subdued, and then she says, I'm staying, and she continued speaking. With a substance sprayed on you like that, that's not a normal reaction. That goes against natural human instinct. The natural reaction is tell them to call paramedics, call 911, get into the restroom, take that clothing off, get it off your body, and start washing yourself off with water immediately in the sink while you're waiting for the paramedics to arrive. That is your natural instinct. If it hits you in the face and in the eyes and stuff, it might be different because it could be pain. She wasn't in pain. That is the natural instinct. You don't know what it is. It could be poison. It could have been something from the guy's body. You wouldn't stay there wearing those clothes and not run out of not run out of that room and try to get out of those clothes. Nobody would do that if it was a normal situation. So the reason people are questioning this is not because she's a Democrat that's corrupt that we don't like. People are questioning it because the convenient timing of this event, but mainly her reaction. Her reaction. Not only do you want to somebody to call the paramedics, you want the clothing off and you're washing yourself off with water, you want to be in the hospital because you don't know what poison you may have been exposed to. You want somebody to take that syringe and take it with you to the emergency room so they can immediately do testing. And since she's a sitting member of the United States House of Representatives, they could have whatever federal organization handles this. Center for Disease, I don't know who you call in the hazmat suits. By the way, you also isolate everyone in the room because you don't know if the people in the room have been infected. And then this guy was taken by the local police. Minneapolis police can actually arrest people apparently. And we already have the booking photo in the orange jumpsuit. You wouldn't somebody that had some type of substance that they sprayed on a member of Congress, you wouldn't take them to the regular jail and book them with the gin pop in everyone because that poison, it could be some disease that everyone's getting. You isolate, isolate, isolate. Everything that happened as a reaction to the event is bizarre and very suspect. No question about it. Now, I want to tell you guys about Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. Holy smokes, guys. It is tax season. I've been getting all my tax documents together. I am so excited to file my taxes this year because it is being reported by the Treasury Department that people are getting larger returns than ever. All right, this is an amazing time. And Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, who can help you with your taxes and do your taxes no matter where you are in the United States, federal, state, local, business taxes, payroll taxes. He knows taxes, man. And the entire tax code has been totally changed with the big, beautiful bill. But don't worry, Jamie Levac at Swift Tax knows the new tax code inside and out. Jamie Levac will make sure that you get all the deductions you're entitled to under the new tax law and make sure that you get the largest return that you are entitled to. Give Jamie Levac a call or a text. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. Again, he can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in America. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to go to the calls after the break. Back after this. All right, we are still in radio station break. So I want to, this was Greg Kelly. I'm going to go to the calls when we're back on the radio. We're still in break on the radio. This was Greg Kelly on Newsmax last night. Okay, so, if you're on hold, we're going to go to the calls when we're out of break on the radio. We got a couple minutes till we're back. Another thing, when you're sprayed with a substance and you don't know what it is, because there's no way they've done lab testing by this point, not only are you isolating yourself so you are safe, you don't want to take a chance of spreading something to your family, to your kids, to your spouse. You would be put, especially a sitting member of Congress, you would be put in isolation until everything was figured out. Now, where Ilhan Omar is going to find herself in a little bit of trouble if this was not real, is now this is a federal investigation because she's a member of Congress. This is not some local cops in Minneapolis are going to be in charge of this. This is a federal investigation with multiple agencies. Of course, the Capitol Police are going to be involved. But the FBI, Homeland Security, and who knows who else, because there's a health emergency here. So whatever government agencies are called in during like an anthrax event or something that happens, that they're going to be called in too. So this is going to be looked at very, very closely by the Trump administration. And President Trump already said that he doesn't believe it, that he thinks that it was staged. He said it last night when asked by a reporter. And I don't think he just said that. This was after he had conversations with people on his staff who have been briefed as to what information they knew at the time. So this is, if this was staged, they're in some big, big trouble because multiple Trump agencies are going to be looking into this. So when we get back, which will be in about 30 seconds, hold on. Yep, about 30 seconds, I'm going to take calls, all right? There's one opening at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. The toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. If you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We're 10 seconds away, and we'll be back. Stand by, guys. All right, we're back. We're going to go to the phones, and I'm going to tell you to be responsible in what you say when you get on the air, and watch your language, of course. All right, let's go to the calls. And I've lost track of the order that everyone is called in, but I'm going to do my best. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, you're on the air.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
We're going to go to the phone.
All right, once, twice. Oh, are you there? All right. First call didn't go too well. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Ben from Popping Out.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, so Ilhan Omar, it has to be fake, and I'll tell you why I think so. Number one, they all thought, and they believe, like in the bottom of their heart, that the Butler Trump assassination attempt was staged. And I honestly think they think they're getting inspiration from a staged event, quote unquote, according to them. And they're going to do the same thing. And number two, Ilhan Omar is the most self-serving, self-preservation, individual in Congress.
Yeah.
She will marry her brother to get into this country. She'll become poor as dirt and become, a decamillionaire within a few years. Clearly corruption. I think there is no way she would get sprayed with something and act in a noble way where she wouldn't somehow try to preserve herself. The natural instinct is correct because you don't know what it is. So the automatic assumption in the brain is it's going to be the worst case scenario, because who would risk putting something in a syringe, showing up to a public event, going into a member of Congress, which now makes this like a federal crime, and then spraying them?
Yeah.
You automatically assume it's something terrible because DC is full of anthrax threats, people sending powder. You got to treat it as real. That they always clear out offices in DC when this stuff happens, even if it's like baking soda. Mm-hmm. So she is such a selfish, self-serving person. There's no way her natural reaction would be like Teddy Roosevelt when he got shot and he continued with the speech. It must go on. No way.
Or President Trump and Butler with this fight moment. For me, if I have a cold coming on, I isolate in my home so I don't get my wife sick. I'll sleep in our guest room and isolate from my wife so I don't get. I isolate myself more when I have the sniffles than Ilhan Omar did when a strange man sprayed a substance. And I'll tell you, have you seen the video of the guy before he got up and did it?
No, I just heard about it this
Well,
morning.
first off, I would think that he would be sending off sirens because he's a white guy at a town hall in her district. How many white guys are in her district that would attend a town hall? But he's sitting there drinking water, and he doesn't look like a regular guy just hanging out. He looks like people are saying it. He looks like an actor.
Yeah. Well, to your first point about how you try to isolate yourself, I'm sure Ilhan Omar was the first one making us all wear masks when we had COVID.
Yeah.
And now she's perfectly fine with whatever biological agent was just sprayed on her, and she's going. The show must go on. I'm going to potentially.
If something like that happened to you, okay, you would think first it was some type of biological poison, and at the very least you would think it was something that came out of the guy's body. Anyone, their immediate reaction would be to get that shirt off of their body, not stay there in it.
And there's proof of this. There was this stupid prank that they did on the subway that some YouTuber or whatever filmed for content, and he did exactly that. He had a bottle, one of those olive oil.
Oh.
restaurants that have good squirt like spray.
Yeah.
And like he would just go and spray people with water, and they didn't know what it was. So like it was a messed up prank, but they like reacted. Their like eyes widened. They looked down. They're like, "What is this? What is this?" A natural person on the street on a subway has a more intuitive, instinctual response than Ilhan Omar.
And I'll tell you another thing: the Minneapolis police. Here you got a guy who is squirted a substance. And by the way, he didn't hit her in the face, which is where you would be aiming if you were a guy, like dead center in the chest, right? Didn't get it in her face at all. The local police arrest him like a normal guy, and they got the mugshot and the orange jumpsuit and everything already. Somebody like that, you would have a hazmat team in with this guy, and you would have her in the hospital isolated until it was determined what was in that syringe. I don't see the police taking this guy through a regular booking process like it looks like they did.
It'd be interesting to follow him in the Minnesota State docket circuit system. You could see you'll be able to follow like what the proceedings are with him, because you're right. We've seen the Minnesota police coordinate with the Walz administration to completely, they're not protecting the ICE agents. I don't know if you saw that video of this one ICE agent that was standing at a store, and he was completely mobbed and surrounded. They were calling for the local police, and they didn't come. So the police are in coordination against the Trump administration. It wouldn't surprise me if these police are also, I'm sure that Ilhan Omar is I hate to say it, but she's, a big politician. She has name recognition. She's part of the squad. She's probably the most well-known politician, or at least in Congress, outside of Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota. And so I guarantee her networks run deep in that state, and especially since all the good police officers left during Black Lives Matter, and they kept all the probably the ones who were more loyal to the cause. It wouldn't surprise me if the police were in coordination with the Omar campaign. We know she's fraud. We know her number one thing is fraud, whether it's getting into this country or whether it's making money. And so what would it really surprise us if she committed one more fraudulent act, in order to increase her wealth standing? So
that's right. All right, you make some good points. All right. Yep. If you're on hold, hang in there. After the next break, we'll go back to the calls. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. Tom Laporta is a good MAGA guy, and he will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he will do it. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. His work is amazing. I've seen his work on multiple homes, including Steve Kane. He can handle any type of structure and any type of roofing material, whether it's residential, commercial, municipal. He even does church roofs. He does amazing work. His team of roofers really are artisans. I've seen their work. It is amazing. And Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing was voted best roofing company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is ground zero for hurricanes. There are more roofers in Fort Lauderdale, Florida per capita than any other city in America, I promise you. My mother lives in Fort Lauderdale. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. And to be voted best roofing company in a city that has that many roofers, that's amazing. Now, I'm going to give you Tom Laporta's number. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. You can also go to his website, laportaroofing.com, and there you'll find the office number. But if you want to get Tom Laporta directly, this is amazing, right? You've got the owner of the company's cell phone before, during, and after the roofing job. That is an amazing thing. You can call or text Tom Laporta, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. When we get back, we'll go right back to your calls. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to take the calls on the radio. So this is our bottom of the hour radio break. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat. And it is toll free no matter where you are listening. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. By the way, When the Fae Came, the link is in the description of the video. It's a regular YouTube watcher of the program, so look in the description, click that link, buy the book, support them, since they're supporting the program. Okay, so we're still in radio station break, so I'm going to play you the video. So you'll see the guy. See right there, that's the guy, and he gets her right in the chest. And that was dead center in the chest. I mean, this is another thing that sets off some red flags, but you could excuse that to bad aim. But if you are taking this guy is facing God knows how long in prison, depends on what the substance is, right? Yeah. Would he be aiming for the chest or the face? But her reaction after is what sets off the most red flags. See that? She wants to stay, and she continues. You have no idea what that is. I mean, my assumption would be it was a deadly poison. The very least, something from his body. Whatever it is, I want it off of me. And everyone, including her, says it smells really bad. Others said it smelled like vinegar. She said it smelled really bad. And her reaction was she was going to go fight the guy. So, you can see when he sprays it. See it? Right there. It's like right in her chest. That's it. All right, we have less than a minute. We have about 30 seconds and we'll be back. Stand by. Yeah, if you want to call in, the number's toll free. It's in the chat. 15 seconds. We're back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're talking about this Ilhan Omar incident. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. This is Sally from Florida.
Yes.
Hey, I just wanted to say something really quick. I think the whole thing was staged because we asked Google what happened, and they said, the thing happened, but she was uninjured and continued the meeting.
That's true. Yes.
Now, being that I'm a woman, I sure as heck wouldn't wear that same sweater. I would be out of that so fast that...
Yeah.
So, what? No, it's so frustrating.
Well, yeah, I mean, my belief is that the natural human instinct would be to get that shirt off. You don't want it on your body. You don't know what it is. It could be poison, right? It could be some biological weapon. You don't know.
And all the people around her that rushed in and touched her, I wouldn't be, come on, man.
That's right. Come on, man. That's right. To quote Joe Biden. Maybe corn pop.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, come on, man. Well,
I love your show.
By the way, where in Florida are you?
I'm like Ben, Pompano Beach.
Pompano Beach. All right. Pompano Beach, Florida. Welcome. All right. Take care. Good call. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Sandra, and I'm calling from Indiana.
Hey, Sandra. What's up?
Hey, I've been listening to you about this Ilhan Omar stuff. The other day, I was listening to another Patriot podcaster, and he showed a TikTok video of a nurse making the suggestion of using a syringe to squirt stuff on the ICE agents.
Yes.
One was poison ivy.
Well, let's not get into the
and-
details of what she was recommending people do, but yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, it went viral on X.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, everybody saw. Yeah,
Okay,
very
I
viral.
didn't know if you did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
I-
doing a similar thing to ICE agents. That is correct. Yes.
Right. And if that was so and not staged, like you said, they would have taken her to the ER.
Well, I just for the life of me, I mean, if I walk out and this happens on occasion because of some of my neighbors, I walk out in my front yard and I step in dog dew. What's my immediate reaction?
Yeah.
What's your immediate reaction if you step in dog dew? Get the shoe off your
Go
foot.
wash it off.
Get the shoe off your foot, and then you
Take
wash
the
it.
shoe off.
If you are sprayed in a position, if you're a public person like she is, and you're sprayed with something on your clothing like that, your immediate reaction is, get this off my body. You think you've been poisoned. You would
Yeah.
want it off your body, and immediately you'd want to be underwater to wash off your body.
Plus the people rushing up to her and touching her, that would, if it was something that would have contaminated them too.
And what's this business
And I believe
with
it was all staged.
you believe it was what's the main thing that makes you say it was staged?
Because if it were me and I had something sprayed on me in this environment of today,
Yeah.
and what he was talking about, and someone jumped up and sprayed something on me, I would immediately want it found out, and I would go to the ER.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the way the police handled the guy, and the way the police handled this guy, this guy, he may have a biological weapon for all you know, and they arrested him like a normal person and took him to the jail like a normal person, and his mugshot is already out there. Now, they did take his clothes off because he was in an orange jumpsuit, but they would hold him and call a hazmat team.
Right.
Because he may be infected with
would.
something.
And she would have been taken directly to the hospital, her clothes removed, probably in the ambulance, to see what type of chemical.
And completely isolated.
And you said he was drinking water?
Beforehand.
For all we
Yeah.
know, he could have filled that syringe up with water.
What was in the syringe in the photos, now again, this may this is a developing story, guys. So when there's a developing story, new things develop, and so everything I'm talking about is based on what we know at this moment in time. All right, 6:37 a.m. Okay, so in 5 minutes there might be new information. But in the video and in the photos I've seen of the syringe, it looks like a dark yellow substance. But I could be wrong, but it's what it looked like to me.
It could have been some sort of body fluid.
Well, yeah, she said it smelled really bad. Other witnesses that were there around her said it smelled like vinegar. But,
Possibly, yeah.
but it could be.
Yellow apple cider vinegar.
If it was urine, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be ripping my clothes off right there. I'd be out of the room, running to the men's room, taking my shirt off, and probably taking everything off, waiting for the hazmat team, and washing myself off with as much water as I could get on me. That is the normal reaction.
You wouldn't continue your speech either.
One of the other things that makes it look possible, again, we don't know. Okay, this could be real. We don't know, but some of these things just don't make sense. He hit her right in the chest, dead center with this substance, and then moved down. Why didn't he hit her in the face? Mm-hmm. A woman would not want her face touched if she were doing it. Women don't want to mess up their face. And if you're doing something like that, you don't go for the center of the chest, you go for the face.
Right.
Now it could be bad aim on his part. That's up in the air, but but the main thing is her reaction is not normal.
Well, we'll find out that all this was fake.
Okay, appreciate the call. Take care. Great call so far. If you'd like to call in, was it real or Memorex? 888-465, that means real or fake. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Toll-free call no matter where you're listening. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brother Brian. IB.
Hey, IB, hold on. My phones are ringing off the hook. All right, IB, go ahead. What say you?
a normal person, might say, hey, give me some water, or they would, pull their blouse down and kind of look to see what was thrown at them, or they would more like back away from the position that she's in, but she's staying there because she knows it's staged. No different than AOC bending down on taking the picture at the border.
Or pretend, remember when AOC pretended to be handcuffed, and she wasn't, with her hands behind her back? Yeah.
No hands up. Here. This I cannot wait. Number one, I think this guy is Palestinian. He's Arab, but he's not. He's not Somali.
Really, he looked white.
No. That guy, I guarantee you, he's Middle Eastern. Now, she wanted someone she could trust to do that. Why is this? To me, he looked like he's right in the front seat, like one or two seats off the end of the row, and he's right there to do whatever. And she's not concerned. I mean, one of her people was more concerned for her than she was. She's like, I'm okay. Like, no, she knows it's staged. There was no real threat there. She didn't back away like, oh my God, what happened? Get me some water, throw some water on me, or go to the bathroom.
And a woman's reaction would be, don't mess up my face, don't mess up my hair, hit me in the chest with it. If you were setting it up, and you were a part of it, a woman would say, not my face, not my hair, the chest. But then again, we can write that off as bad aim. I mean, that's subjective. We don't know. But her reaction is not a normal human reaction at all.
That's all. She's simply looking for sympathy here. You can't. The race card is so played out. It's sympathy. It's all.
Well, she's facing some serious investigations with her immigration and the finances. This story that just came out that her and her husband invested $15,000 in a winery and the new valuation is $5 million. And then all of a sudden this happens.
There must be grapes of gold. I cannot wait. Trump always needs the opportunity to keep reminding us that she was a fraud when she set her foot on the soil of America then, and continues to be a fraud today. And he needs another reason to mention that she married her brother.
Well, now here we are though, because she's a sitting member of Congress. This becomes a federal investigation with multiple agencies: FBI, Capitol Police. Who's in charge of investigating biological things? Would that be Homeland Security? Kristi Noem?
Bingo. You hit it on the head. A congressperson assaulted. Now, I'm waiting to see how many news organizations are going to report on this guy, have a mugshot, if he's going to even have a mugshot. That will be a real tell.
And you have to be in complete isolation until they determine what that substance was with a laboratory test. They didn't have any lab tests back.
That means she had no concern for her own safety. Therefore, I believe it's BS.
Well, I want to know where she went. Did she go home last night with her children? After this, I wouldn't. I'd be isolated.
I didn't see the whole thing last night.
No, but I haven't seen it reported. If something like that happened to me, I would not come home to my wife. I would be isolated.
And the meeting would have been ended immediately. And I wish they tried to put this on MAGA. What MAGA person is going to be sitting in any room with Ilhan Omar? Like, how are they going to spin this?
How many MAGA people are in Minneapolis? This was in her. How many white guys are in Minneapolis? In her district.
She would have been smarter if it was a white liberal lady that did it. It would have been more convincing than, to me, a Middle Eastern.
All right, Ivy. All right, I appreciate the call. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Valentine's Day right around the corner. No better place to do your shopping than MyPillow.com. You can use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, on all the specials at MyPillow.com. Huge deals going on. The pillows, the slippers, the blankets, the mattress topper. Oh, man, the mattress topper is amazing. My wife and I, we just got a new bedroom set in our guest room. We have a MyPillow mattress in there. We've got the MyPillow sheets going on. We got the MyPillows. We use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, for huge savings. These make great Valentine's Day gifts. Go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. Or over the phone, just call toll-free 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. We'll be back after this. By the way, there's a link in the description to divineescapes.com. Check them out. And, of course, they support the program, so make sure you support them. Okay, we're still in radio break, so when we get back from the radio station break, I'll go back to the calls. So let's just go through the video again. You see the guy come up, boom, right there, center of the chest, see? Right in the center of the chest. Then he goes down. Look at that. I don't know, IB says the guy's not, that guy looks white to me. Also looks homeless. See? Right in the center of the chest there. That's, you know, again, he could, you know, bad aim, but that's, I mean, you guys out there, if something like this happened to you, what would you do? We'll be back in 1 minute, and then I'll go to the phones. What would you do? Would you go home to your spouse and your kids? Would you want to be isolated? If they didn't want to admit you, would you still isolate yourself and get a hotel room somewhere? Yeah, your immediate reaction would be get out of the room, get to the bathroom, get that off while you're waiting for the paramedics, and douse yourself with as much water as possible to get that off of your body. That is the natural reaction. There's no other way to say it. That alone in itself is very odd. We got 35 seconds and we'll be back, guys. Yeah, the number's toll free no matter where you're listening. Boy, it's cold. We're going to have our coldest day in 15 years this weekend. It's going to be in the 30s here in South Florida. 20, it's going to be in the 20s at Kennedy Space Center. All right, stand by. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. This is where MAGA comes to talk. If you're just tuning in, Ilhan Omar, there was a town hall meeting in her district in Minneapolis, Minnesota last night while she was trashing the great Kristi Noem, who's overseen the most successful and largest deportation in the history of the United States. A man got up and sprayed a substance on her, and people just don't think it's real, mainly based on her reaction. And that's what we're talking about, all right? 888-465-2631 is our number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ from Broward.
Hey, PJ. What say you?
Hey, have you seen the close-up video of that guy that threw the liquid on her before she came on the stage?
I did. I've seen it a few times. He looks like an actor to me. I don't know. How's it look to you?
No, he doesn't look like an actor. He looks like an over-actor.
Yes,
what he looks
there.
like.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Yeah, I would agree. And he looks. Yeah, I would give you that.
And then the thing is you got to think the guy's on the front row, right? And wouldn't you think that if she had any kind of competent security, that they would immediately? I mean, the guy was so noticeable. Like, hey, I'm a drunk. Yeah, I'm a drunk.
Well, he was drinking. He was drinking Fiji water with the electrolytes and everything. When you say he looked like an overactor, what do you mean by that? I agree with you, but what do you mean by that?
Well, no, but he was like putting on his movements, and it was like, like if you're really drunk, I've been on sort of drunk on the cruises, but
yeah, I've seen
but I don't like, I'm more like just quietly, just sitting there. But the thing is this guy, he stood out like a sore thumb. Any kind of competent security would have just removed the guy immediately.
When you say over, I agree with you. And the way that he is dressed and looks and his hair and everything, it looks like a costume. It just doesn't look like just a organic, real guy that was there.
Yeah, I got a feeling, obviously, since, I think there's money involved. I think this guy, they charged him with third degree. You're like, hey, it's okay. It's Minnesota, Minneapolis. We got, wink, wink. But they didn't figure, this is a federal crime.
And why did they? Change. And I'll tell you, PJ, another thing about the film of the guy, out of everybody in that room, why did they have this close-up video of him?
Yeah. Oh, and then one other thing is, while she was giving her speech, she real quick looked up at him, and then it just a moment before she threw the liquid on her.
Yeah, the nod.
Huh?
She gave a nod.
Yeah.
When right after she's trashing Kristi Noem, she gave a nod, like, okay.
Well, we do have one.
Oh, we lost.
I think he's pretty expert on.
We lost you. Your phone cut out. Who? What was the name you said? You cut out.
Yeah. We have a congressman here who's an expert to investigate this, Max Frost.
Oh, okay. This.
Yeah, don't you remember?
No.
With the Sundance, you didn't hear what happened with Sundance?
No. If I did, I've forgotten about it. But I don't want to get sidetracked. I got a full board about this. Okay. I don't want to get on other issues. Okay, so you believe that this is a staged event, totally staged event?
Absolutely. And you know what? Just about everybody on X is saying the same thing. Although I went over to Blue Sky, and they're like going, "Oh, she's such a hero. She's wonderful. She kicked that, whatever."
Well, if they're calling her a hero, why are they misgendering her? Women are heroines, right? Not hero.
Yeah.
Hero's masculine. They're misgendering her. Blue Sky, get your PC police out. Her reaction to me is the number one indicator. It just is not a natural reaction.
Yeah. I have slightly connected with this. Is she made all her money with a winery? I mean, what Muslims own wineries nowadays?
This one does. I'd like to get some of that. Yeah, it must be great wine to go from turn a $15,000 investment into a valuation of $5 million.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that like really super taboo and wine, liquor, whatever? I don't know.
Do you know who owns a winery? Emily Campagno on Fox News. Her family own a winery. Whole vineyard.
Yeah.
They got the whole thing. She's an expert. She should comment on that on Outnumbered or The Five. You know who I'm talking about? Emily Campagno on Fox.
Yeah. But this guy, I'm looking on the screen now where you have this guy. I don't know. The guy's muggy. He's muggy. He's establishing his defense. Like, hey, I'm just a drunk. So just hit me with third degree.
Well, he's drinking. When you say drunk, he's drinking Fiji water.
Yeah, but he's doing all this. He's acting like he's drunk,
And he's got these weird sideburns, too, going on.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's like he's establishing his defense, like, hey, you'll get, I'm thinking, hey, it'll be a nice payday for you. You won't, if you're drunk, we understand.
Well, blah. We haven't gotten confirmation on his background yet. Okay, and as of this moment, But there is some reporting say that he's on disability and he's broke. So I'd like to know what his family situation is. And a lot of times people will do crime to set their families up. They'll go to jail, but their family will get the money.
Yeah, well, by the way, I checked on that already. He's got 2 daughters, grown daughters, and they're both extreme left-wing Minneapolis types.
Oh, really? Minneapolis types, you said, right?
Well, I don't know, Minneapolis, Portland types, whatever.
Yeah.
But the
well, they're
thing
saying yeah. But what about him?
Guy,
they're trying to say that he's MAGA, of course, but I see no evidence of that.
I think this guy let him in, so he didn't realize nobody there. They're all stupid. They thought it would just be a state crime or city crime, whatever, local crimes, but didn't realize that it's actually a federal crime. So you're going to get a real thorough investigation.
Well, to me, it looks like we're going to get the Capitol Police. I don't know how good they are, but we're going to get FBI, Capitol Police, and Homeland Security. Because there's this unknown substance.
Yeah, but you gotta check out Max Ross's.
I'll look up Max Ross.
The Sundance Festival. It's unlikely.
I'll look it up. I don't want to.
MAGA people.
All right, I'll look it up.
Physically.
I gotta run, PJ. All right, okay. All right, let's go. Let's see here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name?
Chipper from Highland Beach.
Highland Beach. What say you?
Brian, I love the show. I love the way you inform us of all the things that we get cleared up that we don't understand. But a lot of the calls have already hit the points that I was going to talk about. First of all, the white guy, and then the position of him in the audience. What are the chances of that?
With the camera on him for some reason.
You've been saying.
They did a close-up of him with the camera for some reason. Of all people in there, this guy got a close-up on the camera before the event.
And you hit it on the head when you said, well, why would he have that position right in the front row and hit her in the chest with a liquid? First of all, if it was really somebody, they would hit her. They would go right after her if they were going to take the risk of getting arrested and making a scene. And any of the MAGA people, you've never, ever seen violence. It's just not right. It is such a staged and a bad staged event.
Yeah. And, the thing about hitting her in the chest with this liquid, if it is staged, we don't know, but if it was staged and she was in on it, a woman would say, not in the face, not in the hair. Okay, women don't want to mess up their hair or their face. And it's just where...
One thing that made it very interesting to me was when, after he squirted her with the liquid and her protection came in, she runs to him with a fist like she wanted to hit him.
Yeah, I know. Well, she survived. Didn't you hear she survived a war, she said, so she can handle this stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, Highland Beach. Thank you. Welcome. Great call. We've had great calls so far today, I must say. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Richie.
Richie.
I'm Roy Brent.
All right, Richie.
I have something to say here. I believe I watched it live, but you know what's amazing to me? She's won. She's a genius. She's won because not just you, because this is a big story. It's all over the place. It's the topic of the day, and the fact of the matter is, you brought up something about the winery, and the winery doesn't exist, just like all those other businesses exist. Benny Johnson found out yesterday there's no product. That has never been a product. They've made money on something that doesn't exist, just like Shirley's, daycare centers that don't exist. The same thing, but with a winery, and it doesn't exist. So that would be the story of the day, how she made $5 million on something that's not there. They got LLCs on that business. It was nothing to do with wine.
Oh yeah,
the guy's already.
But
so there's no winery.
I understand that. I understand that. But this did not. This did not. It might have been. It might have been the
Oh,
topic
that would have
today.
been your topic. That would
But
have been the
this
biggest
did
topic
not. This is not something that they put together in yesterday. There's too much involved in this.
My God.
Yeah.
No, Brian, let me say.
They have to get a guy to do it. They got to get a guy to do it. You can't do that in the afternoon. No, this has been in the planning for at least a week.
Benny Johnson discovered the winery the day before, or I believe it was the day before.
Yeah.
And there's no winery.
No, that
So
that probably. I don't know if that would have been my lead story, but it would have been a big topic today. Richie, I'm up against the top of the hour break. All right, so I got to run. If you're on hold, stand by. When we get back, we'll go back to your calls. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back right after this. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Hold on. All right. We got about 90 seconds and we'll be back. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll free. You know, there's so much about this that sets off sirens, but the guy getting this close up of out of everyone there, that certainly sets off some sirens. Okay, hold on, guys. Less than a minute, we'll be back. $30 seconds and we'll be back, guys. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. Welcome to everyone who's new. We're in radio station break, and we'll be back in 20 seconds. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. If you're on hold, stand by. Big news story today about Ilhan Omar, and this is a big one. And this is what we've been covering today. For people that are just waking up and tuning in, I'm going to recap the story. And if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. Fox News Representative Ilhan Omar held a town hall meeting Tuesday evening in her home district. Of course, she was talking about the ICE operations, the shootings, and, of course, trashing Kristi Noem. The event started out mostly uneventful until a man attacked the congresswoman with some sort of chemical spray that had a foul odor, according to those close by. Those nearby, Omar wanted her to leave, but Omar refused and continued her speech. "Please don't let them have the show," Omar can be heard saying after she was hit with the foul-smelling spray. "We will continue. These F word and then A word used are not going to get away with this. Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand," Omar said as she returned to the microphone. "We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us." The suspect was arrested and held in the county jail on third-degree assault charges, and they already have the mugshot of him in the orange jumpsuit. Okay, and by the way, this is insane to me. No one believes that this is true. This story, no one believes this is true. And I just picked up something in the mugshot, which I'm going to share with you. This is I just noticed this in the mugshot. I saw the mugshot before the show. Hold on a second here. Hold on. I hate when I pull up a website and it plays video. All right. We appreciate it. I just noticed something about the mugshot, which I will tell you in a moment. This is what happened. If you've seen, you're going to see the video. If you're on hold, stand by. She's speaking. She's trashing Kristi Noem. The guy gets up. He has a syringe with a dark yellow liquid in it. He sprays it at her, hits her in the chest, and goes down. Not the face, not the hair, in the chest, on her clothing, goes down. She moves. She wants to fight the guy. He's tackled. They take him away. People say, "Get out of here, Ilhan." She says no, and she continues with the speech. And I just picked up another piece of the puzzle. I am calling total BS on all of this based on how this was handled. All right? I wonder how many of you picked up what I just picked up from the mugshot just now as I was reading that story from Fox News. I'd seen the mugshot, but I guess I hadn't watched the video as much. I watched the video a bunch of times, and that I noticed something about the mugshot. But what I've been talking about this morning is that her reaction is not a normal reaction, right? You're a public person. Someone puts a substance on you. You think you've been poisoned. At the very least, it's something that came from their body, but you think you've been poisoned. Your immediate reaction is to run to the bathroom, take that clothing off your body while you're waiting for the paramedics, and start washing yourself, just covering yourself in as much water in the bathroom sink as you can. She didn't do that. She didn't even try to take off the sweater. She stayed there with the speech, like she didn't have a worry in the world. They took this guy to the regular county jail and booked him. He's in an orange jumpsuit, but underneath he's wearing the t-shirt that he wore during the attack. You know, for all they know, this is a biological attack, a chemical attack. Both people, and by the way, this would go for those who tackled him too, but the guy with the syringe that sprayed her with the liquid and Omar, they would take paramedics, they call a hazmat team, they take them to a medical facility, isolate them, take all their clothes off, and shower them, both of them, even the attacker. He was booked in the county jail wearing the t-shirt that he wore during the attack. This burgundy t-shirt. Can't believe I didn't notice that before. These Keystone cops. If there's a biological or chemical assault on someone, a public figure like this, you don't book them in the clothes that they were wearing. You don't even take them to the jail, right? They're under guard in isolation at some hospital somewhere, handcuffed to some equipment, but you get the clothes off of them. I mean, I'm calling total BS on this every step of the way. When I first saw the mugshot, I didn't pay that close attention. I saw the orange jumpsuit, and I thought, well, they got his clothes off. He's wearing the same darn T-shirt. So, do you buy this? Was this staged? What is your opinion on that? And why do you feel that way? Either side, you're welcome. But you know, we've gotten a lot of calls today. We haven't heard from one liberal yet saying it was real. I'm a little surprised at that, tell you the truth, come to think of it. All right, let's go to the phones. Our number is toll-free, no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2631. Those of you that are new to the program, all of our calls are screenless and unvetted. We do not use a call screener. When you call in, I just reach over, like I just did with this caller and that caller, and put you on hold, okay? And when you hear me say, you're on the air, what's your name, where you're calling from, that's the first time we hear from you. So a lot of times people that are new, that they call in, they don't know how it works. We take all of our calls screenless and unvetted, 100%, no call screener to answer the phone. And that is how we design this show. That is the format of this program. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air, what's your name, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, how you doing? This is Dave from Pennsylvania.
Yes, Dave.
I believe it also was staged myself, but whether it was staged or not, her security detail should have got her out of there, either if she wanted to or not, because he could have had an accomplice, you know what I mean? She was in a dangerous situation. They should have ran her out one way or the other.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
I also believe AOC, her comment is, don't she remember a few months ago when her fellow congressman from California tried to rush the stage after Kristi Noem's speech? You know.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, when he was out there in he was upset they didn't know who he was because he's not one of the famous members of Congress. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And you know, the police. I mean, the things that set off red flags. Spraying her in the chest could be bad aim. Okay. But her not wanting to get that shirt off and covered in water to wash this substance off of her that may have poisoned her. That's one red flag. And now the Minneapolis police booked him in the jail wearing the same shirt that he wore during this attack. You know, why is there's no way.
I agree. I know if it was me, I'd want my shirt taken off.
Well, you wouldn't have a choice. They would just do it. It's evidence. Plus, it's plus they got to get the hazmat team in there. You're in the hospital. They want the clothes off of you because they don't know what the chemical is. No matter what it smells like, they don't know what the chemical is. And until they can determine what it was, this is a health hazard.
Well, we'll find out when the investigation's done.
Yeah, we will. No doubt. All right. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sir, this is Brad from Boynton.
Hey, Brad in Boynton. What say you?
What say me? I'd say I smell a lot of...
Oh, yeah, I bet he does. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. The rest of you on hold, stand by. I want to ask you this question. This is a very important question. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? Oh, man. Neuropathy is god-awful. It's so painful. It makes life unbearable. The numbness, the pain, the burning, the tingling in your hands and feet, the muscle weakness, the loss of balance, the muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. No feeling at all. It's a difficult life having neuropathy. You know, Steve Kane, he had neuropathy in the worst way. His doctor told him, his primary, no treatment for neuropathy. That's your new life. Steve begged and pleaded, and he sent him to a neurologist. The neurologist, that's a specialist, said, no, there's no treatment. Go home. That's your new life. Get used to it. And, well, we had to do something about it because we had a personal appearance coming up. We had our MAGA cruise was coming up, and Steve couldn't get out of bed. He was not just homebound, he was bedbound because the neuropathy was so bad. I found Lighthouse Medical. Steve went over there, and after his first treatment, he saw relief. They rid him of his neuropathy symptoms, and that was 3.5 years ago. Completely rid him of them. It's over 3.5 years. It's been 3.5 years and a month. and it'll be 2 months soon when we hit February, but it's been 3.5 years. Not only did they rid him of his neuropathy 3.5 years ago, it has not returned. Lighthouse Medical can help you too with your neuropathy, no matter where you're located in the world, okay? With telehealth and Zoom and all that, they can help you. They're located in Pompano, but if you can't make it to their office, that's okay. Give them a call. Make sure you mention you heard about them on the program so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Back after this. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go to the phones after the break. I'm just getting things organized. We'll be right back, guys. Stand by. So what do you guys think here that they booked the guy into the county jail, put him in the county jail in the same shirt that he was wearing during this attack? Does that make sense to you? I mean, they could be infecting how many people? We'll be back in about 90 seconds. I'll go back to the phones. That's crazy. There's nothing about this incident that does not stink. Everything about this event stinks. You know, and a lot of people say, well, why now? Why now? You know, the winery. I don't know about the winery. But see, when the bad guys, you know what the bad guys, you know what goes through criminals' minds? They know everything they've done, right? And they assume that investigators know everything too. And they start to panic. Remember, these Minnesota anti-ICE riots, this rebellion, originally began to try to stop Tim Walz from getting arrested, right? Remember that? We talked about that quite a bit. We'll be back in less than a minute. So if you're on hold, stand by. But this is just basic chemistry class stuff. Right? If you're in a chemistry class and you get chemicals on you, you're washing your body. This is BS. Total BS. We'll find out more about this guy. All right, 20 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones. 15 seconds. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Well into the show, we have yet to hear a single liberal tell us we're crazy. That this, of course, really is true. This is not staged. Very surprising. The more that we look at this, there's not a moment in this entire event that looks real, based on what little information we already know. This thing about booking him in the county jail with the shirt he wore during a chemical attack, that could be some virus. How many, if that were some deadly chemical, how many people could have been infected? Has anyone seen any stories about hazmat teams being deployed? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hey, my name's Brian from Louisiana.
Yes, Louisiana.
Hey, I'm going to tell you how I know it's staged. You notice there ain't one Somalian in that crowd. You look to your left, there's 3 old white ladies just sitting there, and why was CNN and all these photographers there?
Oh, that's an interesting thing. Yeah, the Somali. Yeah, that's true. The Somalis aren't around. Yeah, that's true. All right, but wouldn't that say there's a Somali guy sitting next to him? He's a black guy, but he looks Somali sitting next to him. All right, and by the way, if it was staged, they'd have Somalis there. There'd be no risk. So that doesn't really back up. So do you think it was that? Why do you think it's staged?
It's just, why would CNN and all the photographers be there for a town hall?
Of Ilhan Omar, yeah. It's it's like CNN only covered one Trump rally the whole campaign season, and it was Butler. Yeah, right. It was the only one, and they carried it live, which they never did. And just what a coincidence, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, take care.
Taking my call, bro.
All right, well, thanks for the call. Yeah, good take. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Lenny from Coconut Creek and Pompano.
Hey, Lenny. Long time no hear.
I'm glad you said that. I was about to say it's been a while we spoke. God bless you. God bless Steve. God bless your wife. God bless everything you're doing.
Well, thank you.
And bringing, I want to say that I totally agree with everything you're saying, because I have been just staying away from the news, not only because what's happening globally, but when I saw what happened, I truly believe that it's totally staged, because I personally, several months ago, was physically, manhandled, and also had an unknown substance thrown in my face.
Really? What happened? How'd that happen? What was the reason for that?
I can't get into it. I have legal action that's being taken.
Okay.
But I went to the hospital. Because of the situation, and thank God, because financially, I'm struggling, but through my insurance, I was able to get a private room, because they put me in isolation, and they did a barrage of tests. Even when I was in the hospital for several days, and once I got out of the hospital, I made an appointment for my ophthalmologist, and I went, and I actually have a follow-up appointment on Friday, and what was diagnosed that there was a bacterial infection in my eyes.
Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah.
So this wasn't you were attacked?
Yes, and I cannot go into the details.
Okay, I get it.
But what you, I've been listening to you for decades, Brian, and I know we've been, at back and forth, and I've kind of just been listening to you. I've jumped on the pot, the chat, and but because I take a personal what happened to me and what the left is doing and everything that has, this is just a deflection of everything that's happening with all this fraud and you know, ICE and everything else. And you know, when you came on this morning, I just said, you know what, I have to call you, Brian. And your question was, you wanted a yes or no.
Yeah. So based on your experience, you're telling me that they, in a real situation, even you, a regular guy, not a city member of the United States House of Representatives, they took more steps than this. Yeah.
Oh my God. The nurses, even, you know, of course, when you're in the hospital, they don't even let you sleep because they did so much blood work.
Yeah.
Because this liquid not only went in my eyes, it went in my ears, my nose, my mouth.
Oh.
And I was so scared. I can't even tell you.
You're gonna be okay?
But thank God.
You're gonna be okay?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Great.
But what we're seeing now with her, politically, this is just a deflection of what they're trying to bring against
Look
her.
at the, I'm a victim now. They're trying to get to me. All right, hey, listen, Lenny, I'm glad you're well. Keep me updated. And when you can tell me more, call back and let us know more because I'm interested. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, I was at, a few years back, I was at Disney World. And I'm in line. And some kid coughed on my, he was short, so luckily he coughed on my arm. You know what I did? I got out of line, I went to the men's room, and I washed my arm off with soap and water. Because I didn't want, whatever he coughed on my arm, I didn't want to bring it and get my family sick. Right? You know, no, everything about this stinks from, you know, where. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense at all. If you're on hold, stand by. You know, I was telling you guys the other day that a travel YouTuber that I'm a big fan of, Adam the Woo, died a couple days before Christmas. Very sad. Hit me hard. I met the guy 3 or 4 times. I was in one of his YouTube videos, and I was a big fan of his. And I've been following him for over a decade. And he died out of the blue, 51 years old. And they finally gave us the cause of death this week, and it was a heart attack. He had massive buildup in his arteries. And this guy was traveling and doing it. He was at a marathon recently up in Orlando. You know, he had no idea that he had all this blockage. And he's no longer with us. If he'd have gone to Life Imaging FLA and taken advantage of the heart scan, he would have known. And he would have gone to the doctor. And they would have done whatever they had to do. And the heart attack would not have happened. Life Imaging FLA is all about preventative health. On Friday, I got a call from a listener. It was amazing. It was just an amazing call. He went over to Life Imaging FLA for the heart scan. He took my advice and asked for the cancer screening. They found out he's got a tumor. He had no symptoms, no idea. He would have found out he had the tumor eventually, but he caught it early enough. He's at the doctor getting it treated now. I've heard from multiple listeners, male and female, that went over there for the heart scan at Life Imaging FLA and found out they have heart issues that with no symptoms. No symptoms. Life Imaging FLA have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you'll be connected in seconds. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be back with your calls after this. All right, we're clear. We're in radio station break now. There is nothing about this story that says anything to me other than BS. You know, the more I look at it, the more we talk about it, and then we hear from Lenny who had that problem. See, there's the same shirt. Look, she goes after him. You know, I mean, come on. Is that how you would react? You know, you see, at this point, it's not up to you to decide. It is not up to you to decide. They take you out. You are at risk. There's been an attack. It's a chemical. It's a liquid substance in a syringe. You know, they get you out of the room for your safety and for the safety of others. There could be others in the room. It's a small room. It could be some poison. It could be some disease. It could be some virus. Who knows what it is? No. At this point, it's out of your hands. You don't decide that you're going to stay there. She's not the president, you know, with a Secret Service detail. And her reaction, not just not removing the clothes, getting out of there, removing the, not just that. She doesn't even seem, she always seems pissed off at any day of the week, but she doesn't seem worried. She doesn't seem worried at all. I would be worried, wouldn't you? Nothing about this does not stink. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. I've been on the air for an hour and 42 minutes, and we haven't heard from one liberal telling us that we're nuts and that this is all real, and walk us through it and explain how it's real. We've got about 30 seconds until we're back. So if you're on hold, stand by. All right, not one. I'd like somebody to call in and walk me through how this is normal for an attack like this. This cold weather, it's in the 40s this morning, has dried out my throat. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, I've been on the air for over 90 minutes. We've been taking calls nonstop. We haven't heard from one liberal telling us that this was real and walk us through how this is real. Have you noticed that? We haven't had and I'm going through the lines as they come in. Not just saying it's real. That hasn't happened at all either. But walk us through how this is normal. All right, let's go to the phones. Our number, toll free, no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Patricia from Massachusetts.
Hey, Patricia.
Hey, yeah, this is all staged. I was watching it live, but I was reading the New York Post, and it says Minneapolis forensic scientists responded to process 15. Like you said,
I'm having a hard time understanding you. Your voice is really muffled.
Maybe I turn it up. Is that better?
You sound better now, yeah.
Okay. So the New York Post is reporting that the Minneapolis forensic scientists responded to the scene and processed it. But like you said, he's still wearing the shirt.
Yeah, there is no way with a chemical attack like this, because there's a liquid in the syringe, they would book you in the county jail just like that, wearing the same shirt that you wore during this attack. There's no way.
100%. And when did the forensic people show up? Because she continued to take questions. And then the next question that was asked after this attack was from a crying Somalian, I believe a woman, you couldn't see her on camera, talking about how she can't get her benefits because she can't go renew because ICE is there and she's afraid to leave her house.
Why would she be in trouble if she's legal? If she's a legal person, why would she be worried about ICE?
Well, that's the $1 million question. And then Omar tells her that they have mobile centers that will come to places where they feel safe.
Oh my goodness!
So they can recertify for their benefits. Because the whole thing was a crap show. And then I know she was saying at the time with the wink and the nod to that person in the thing. And the other thing the article says is the neighbor came out and said that this man asked him to watch his dog because he thought he might get into some trouble at this meeting.
Well, he obviously, if it's real or not, he obviously had some planning. So that's consistent with planning. He had a syringe. I've seen the syringe. It had a dark yellow liquid in the syringe.
Yeah. And again, going back to the charges, a third-degree misdemeanor assault on a congresswoman when this man clearly, according to the Post, pre-planned this. And then, yelled mega country, which is the biggest joke of all. Minnesota is anything but mega country.
You know, this thing about MAGA country, I heard that, but I didn't hear him say it. So maybe he yelled MAGA country?
Yeah.
That just doesn't, let me tell you. A MAGA person, that just isn't something MAGA people say. And it's just not something MAGA people say. And MAGA people in general want to be respectful of the president and don't want to soil his name. There's just something about that MAGA country thing that also, but the main thing though, there's three main things that make me call BS on the whole thing. One is the convenient camera close-up of him before the event. That's one. Two, that he hit her with the liquid in her chest, not her face or hair. The face would be the target. To me, that a woman would say, not in the face, not in the hair, don't mess up my face, don't mess up my hair. Although she's got her thing on her head, she wouldn't want her makeup messed up. But the main factor that's not, those things those aren't provable, like bad aim or, But the one thing is her reaction. The normal reaction is to run to the ladies' room, take off the shirt, and start washing yourself off in the sink while you're waiting for the paramedics. And then finally we see that he's booked in the county jail wearing the same shirt that he wore during the supposed chemical attack. That's just nonsense. That's totally would be against procedure.
Absolutely, 100%. The other thing the article says is he has Parkinson's disease, which would explain why he was walking the way he was walking, because he did appear to be some kind of intoxicated. But according to this article, he has Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
So
he was drinking Fiji water, which is my favorite bottled water, by the way. I like Fiji water. I drink Fiji water. It's got the electrolytes in it. But why was he drinking so much water before? I don't know. And Fiji, I guess he wanted to have a good drink before. No, everything about it stinks. There's nothing about this that does not say fake.
Right. So my question is, to what end? Like, do they think that the country is this stupid that we're all of a sudden going to back off any kind of fraud?
To me, it's not well thought out. If it's fake, we don't know for sure, but but we're we got common sense. Criminals when they get panicked, they're in a state of anxiety, and when you start making decisions in an anxiety state, you do stupid things. And now we've got Kash Patel will be investigating this, as well as Kristi Noem's Department of Homeland Security. So this, Kash Patel needs to step up this time.
100%. And I'd be curious to see what he has to say to the federal investigation, or he even thought that it was going to be that.
That's right.
I think they convinced this person that this is just going to be a little misdemeanor charge. You just squirt me with this, and it'll be all good. I don't think she understood.
Well, if it's apple cider vinegar, it's a different crime than if it's real poison, right? But and the thing is, they have unlimited money. Remember, the Somali pirates, they stole $19 billion, right? $19 billion. So they have unlimited money to pay somebody to do something.
Right. And I'd be curious to see how quick he flips when he realizes this is a federal case. This is not just, the corrupt system is going to cover for you. Mm-hmm. This is actually a federal case.
Has anyone seen, I haven't seen any reporting as to whether or not this syringe with the liquid is in evidence. And her clothing and his clothing. He's booked in the clothes. They put him in an orange jumpsuit over his clothes he wore during the attack.
Right. So, and that's why for the Times to say that the Minnesota forensic I want to word it right. What was it? The Minnesota forensic team processed the scene. Minnesota forensic scientists responded to process the scene. Like, she continued that. There was no forensic science process in any scene.
And without labs, which could take quite some time for a sophisticated thing like this, they don't know what that liquid was and how many people were exposed in that tiny room that she wouldn't leave. Come on.
Yeah, it is. So desperation. What is it? Desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah.
I think they are feeling the pressure of the federal government.
Indeed.
And my other thing is, I think all the lefties are going to be wearing this sweater now as a sign of being so cool.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Her sweater kind of is. Are those prison stripes on her sweater? It looks kind of like black and white stripes. It looks like a prison outfit from Alcatraz.
It does, for sure.
Yeah.
For
All
sure.
right.
Stay warm. It's 5 degrees in Massachusetts, so you stay warm.
All right.
We're sending you some cold right here.
All right. Take care. This weekend in South Florida, we are going to have our coldest day in 15 years. It's going to be in the 30s. Coldest day in 15 years. I was thinking about going to Kennedy Space Center this weekend because they got the moon launch going in a few days, and it's on the launch pad, and I wanted to see it on the launch pad in person. It's going to be in the 20s at Kennedy Space Center this week. The 20s. I don't even have clothing for that, so that's off the agenda. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi, Brian. It's me, Green Eyes, that you always see in the chat.
Yeah, Green Eyes. What's up?
You're talking about this lady who got something sprayed on her.
Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar, yes.
Yeah. The whole thing is staged. They're just trying to show their Islam law, about Sharia law, where they throw acid in the face.
Well, why? What about?
Fighting her religion.
Well, what about it makes you say it was staged?
The guy was off his rocker, drunk, or he smoked a bad hookah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy doesn't look, like he's sober, for one, and for two, MAGA does not do that. We have more self-respect and respect for people that act like that out in public. We weren't raised like toddlers.
Well, as I was saying earlier, MAGA people, all the MAGA people I know, they feel like they're representing the president. So they're on their best. And where was his MAGA gear?
He didn't have any. And if you look at his guy's face as this is going on, you can tell like something's really, really off with him. He is not sober. And no self-respecting MAGA person go like that in public. We always feel like that we're representing the best of America. And we show that to everybody, to what we volunteer for,
Absolutely.
to what we offer, to what we do. This guy, no. Why would he even be there? For what?
And I missed this part, but an earlier caller said that he yelled out MAGA country. Minnesota?
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear, but a caller said that he yelled it after. Who would say MAGA country in Minnesota, in Minneapolis?
No, we don't do that. That's not a part of our repertoire. We don't act like silly buffoons because we feel like we're representing America. We have standards unlike them people.
And the president. You don't want, MAGA people don't, they don't want to make the president look bad.
We don't want these problems.
Yeah, exactly. We
just don't want them.
All right, I appreciate the call. All right, take care.
I'm so glad to call and finally talk to you. Love your show. Been on it for years. Love you. Tell your wife I said hello. She's such a sweetheart.
Well, thank you, Green Eyes. Take care. Green Eyes is her name in our live chat. And I know a lot of you people around the country think we're wimps with this weather. We live in paradise in Florida. It was in the 80s, yesterday. And for it to get down into the 30s is pretty frightening. I mean, this is, I'm sorry, the 20s at Cape Kennedy? Oh, my goodness. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is 888-465-2631. Back after this. All right, we are clear. We're in radio break. Hello?
Please leave your message for...
I just was talking.
Hey, Brian.
Hey there, we have 1 minute.
All right.
So I'm going to record today's and tomorrow's. What we were talking about yesterday.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. So we don't want to say the day, so they're not dated with the day. That's all. Okay. All right, we have 45 seconds. What? All right, it's time to check in with Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. You know, Jamie Levac, I've been reading in the news this week from the Treasury Department that people are getting their largest returns ever this tax season. People are already filing. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Yes, you know, the IRS opened, and I'm noticing returns do look bigger than last year. One big thing was the itemized deductions were changed a lot. For instance, mortgage interest, property taxes, things like that seem to be, the thresholds are a little higher, so you're getting more of your money back on that.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is the EV credits have changed since last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you have solar on your house, there is a chance that, you know, when they ran the numbers originally, when they sold you the solar package, they took into consideration the taxes. So there's a chance at the end of the year, when you do see your bill, when you're crunching your number, you're noticing that maybe you were, sorry, it's a little loud, maybe you were misled a little bit. But if you take the full advantage and maximize your tax credits for solar, there is a big chance that you're losing a lot of money because maybe you were factored in your monthly bill to add in this tax credit. So make sure you take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things have changed, and what I'm noticing are, you know, dual married couples are getting more back. People who own property are getting more back. You know, a lot of different things have changed, and you know, I'm here to help people who need help.
Yeah, and I imagine a lot of people that, by the way, who work and are receiving Social Security as well. You got a big deduction coming to you, and people in the tip economy.
Yes, so I'm also seeing a lot of people who worked overtime receiving a lot of that money back that they probably didn't see in the past. People that actually pay a lot of federal income tax throughout the year. People in the health industry, nurses, doctors. These people pay a lot of money in taxes throughout the year. And the reason you need to call me is, you know, we need to develop a plan over time to help you pay less taxes. If you plan on investing your money, if you plan on buying a home, here's another big thing. If you plan on buying a home in the next year or two, your buying power is going to be related to your taxes. So getting together with someone like me and really figuring out exactly what I plan on doing, how much I plan on buying. You know, the real estate market is fluctuating right now, and in some places, the prices have been going down. And when interest rates go down, you know, there's going to be a moment there where the prices will go up after the influx of demand from the interest rates going down. So putting yourself in position to be able to purchase something, whether you're a small business owner or whether you're a family looking for investment property, everything's related to your taxes. And small business owners really, really have the biggest problem with this when it comes to buying power. You know, although at the end of the year you might have grossed X amount of dollars, everything's based off your taxes. So, you know, if you're looking to purchase property as a small business owner and you're looking to pay more in taxes, maybe structure your business in a way that it's appealing to a lender, give me a call, because I do have a lot of customers that are small businesses that do pay a fair amount of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
But, there is a reason. Everybody wants to avoid paying taxes at the end of the day, but there's scenarios where, you have to pay your fair share. And if you're a small business looking to expand and reach out to acquire capital, you really have to structure your taxes the correct way.
Yeah, now Jamie Levac at Swift Tax is located in Broward, but no matter where you're located in the United States, Jamie can help you with your federal taxes, your state income taxes, your local taxes, your business taxes, your payroll taxes. And he knows, as you can hear, the new tax code with the big, beautiful bill inside and out. Jamie Levac will make sure that you get every deduction you are entitled to, maximizing your return. And with Jamie Levac, you can get your tax return in as little as 24 hours. Call or text Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. This number rings directly to Jamie, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. All right, Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Call me now. I'm here.
All right, take care, guys. You heard that? Call him now. He's there. It's a busy time. Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention, all tax preparation is tax deductible. You get a deduction for that, although his prices are very, very, very good. All right, we're going back to the phones. Of course, we're talking about this Ilhan Omar incident. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Listening to this Omar thing, it certainly seems like it's a con job to me. There she is making a statement, and she has the guy who's going to do something to her with a needle in his pocket on the front row.
A syringe.
Syringe, whatever it is, a needle, syringe, whatever. So the security, she's worth $30 million. She doesn't have security to check everybody, make sure they have a gun or a knife or a syringe or whatever else this guy has. So something's not right. So if I was security, and let's say he said that syringe, I have seizures and I have to be able to take something right away, I would say, okay, we'll hold it. You can't go in there with a syringe. Something's not right. So I think this is just a way to try to get her, make the public start saying, oh, she's okay.
Yeah. No, there's,
okay.
no, I was just listening. You're just not used to me not interrupting you for so long.
No. My phone went dead for a second, I thought. But okay,
No.
it wasn't you.
No.
Okay.
But I got to tell you, during the breaks and all, I've been looking through and I've watched the tape many times. I did not hear him say MAGA country. I know we had a caller who said that he said it earlier. I did not hear him yell MAGA country, and I haven't seen it reported in any of the mainstream news outlets. All right, so I'm not going with that. That is very unconfirmed. We had one caller who said it. I've not been able to confirm it. I didn't hear him say it myself. I can't play the unedited version on the air because Ilhan Omar, like many liberals, is big on the F word.
If he didn't say it, he forgot his line. That was probably definitely part of his line to say that.
First off, that's not something a MAGA person would say. They would say something about her brother. They would say something about if they were yelling at her, it'd be something about her brother, or the money, or the Leering centers. They would shout something about one of those things, right? Probably the brother would be the lead.
Yeah, and the idea that she didn't act like, my God, it could be some sort of poison on it. She just acted like. And
I know. I think I know women pretty well. I know you do too, Doug. Whether or not this is staged or not, one of the tells is not just the way she reacted, was that he squirted this on her chest. It was because if she were in on it, she'd say, "Not in my face." She's got her hair covered with that thing on her head. But a woman would not want to be sprayed. If you're doing the attack, you want to aim for the face because that's where you can do the damage, right? Not on the clothing.
Yeah.
And that's somebody that's wearing layers on a cold Minneapolis night.
Even if it was just paint or something in there, on her face would be much more effective than on her shirt. That's for sure. Now, did he miss? Maybe he missed. Maybe he's too far away. I don't know.
I was talking to a caller earlier. I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago. I walked out of the house to get my morning coffee, and I stepped in dog dew. One of my neighbors let their dog, and I looked on my camera. That's why you got to call Sloman's to get the camera. I know who it was because I looked on the camera to find out who it was. But when I do that, first thing I do is take my shoe off, and that's not even poisonous. But I don't want the dog. I don't want it on my foot. I take it off immediately, right in the yard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If a listener, you guys have seen. Some of you have been to appearances where I've been confronted. You were at the one at the mall where the guy came with the gun, right? Remember that the guy with the prison stash, and he had a pistol, and then he had a security guard and all that stuff. You've seen me confronted, and then at Wings Plus when we had our inauguration event, that lunatic liberal confronted me, in front of all the listeners. And these things happen. If someone sprays you with a chemical, like happened with Ilhan Omar, you don't finish the speech. You run out of there. You go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
you take the shirt off, and you start dousing yourself with as much water as you can. That's human instinct.
That's what I would do, sure. Something's not. That's the point that made me think this is phony.
Unless you knew it was apple cider vinegar or something,
Yeah. Something's not right. Maybe we're wrong, but it certainly doesn't seem as easy to believe what was going on.
Well, the other thing is, by the way, that incident with Doug with the guy at the mall, that's on my YouTube channel, guys. Steve and I, we were kicked out of the mall. They were very upset that we brought customers to the mall. Because it was the festival flea market that's been closed down ever since. I guess we were interrupting their closing it down by bringing customers in. But, it gets pretty hairy in those situations, doesn't it? It's pretty tense, isn't it? And there was not a lot of tension with her. None.
Yeah, something's not right.
And the other thing I want to know is, did she go home to her family last night? If somebody had sprayed me with some unknown chemical substance, I wouldn't expose my family to it.
That's for sure. That's 100%. I would have been immediately run to the hospital. Hopefully, they could figure out what's going on.
Doug, you wouldn't have a choice. You would be admitted to the hospital and isolated. Yeah. It would not be your choice to make. You would be isolated by medical orders and law enforcement. Even if you're a member of Congress, you would have no choice. Didn't anybody ever see Silkwood? Remember Silkwood when she got exposed to the radiation and they put her in the shower? Big scene in Silkwood. No, or in science class in high school where they have the eye washing station.
Yes, without a doubt, something is rotten there.
Something's rotten in Minneapolis.
Yeah, man, something's not right because you get sprayed with something, you want to go to the hospital, you think you can go.
Indeed.
Guys in the front row, no security. So get out of here. Something's not right. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but man, it certainly seems rotten.
At an Ilhan Omar town hall in her district, any white guy there, they're watching because they're like, why is there a white guy here? This is little Somalia, right?
Yeah. Especially her. She's probably the most person not liked in Congress.
All right, I got to run, Doug. I got to run. I want to tell you guys about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It works, guys. This past Monday was a year that I met with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I not only did I lose more weight than my goal, I've kept it off. I haven't gained back a single ounce. And that was even through all my holiday eating, man. And I love that pumpkin pie. I'm a big pumpkin pie guy. I ate a lot of it. I pigged out over the holidays. Didn't gain an ounce. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret no matter where you're located. We have listeners nationwide that have literally lost a ton of weight. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and schedule your no-charge consultation right now. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, the 8 o'clock hour is upon us. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and Florida's longest running radio show. Back after this. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We've got just over a minute until we are back. And this is something that I uncovered during the conversation today. Look at this. A chemical attack on a sitting member of Congress. Here he is beforehand. Here he is booking. They take him to the county jail and book him. He's wearing the same shirt. Wouldn't they take his shirt and, by the way, isolate him, not just take him through the regular booking process, but wouldn't they want his clothing for testing? By investigators, by the lab. This is Okay. Less than a minute. Come on. If you're new to the program, make sure that you subscribe, okay? I'm here every day and in the afternoons, 7 days a week. Live streaming, taking live calls. This is a radio station break. We'll be back in 25 seconds. Stand by. 15 seconds. Everything about this stinks. There's nothing about it that doesn't stink. The 8 o'clock hour has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We're going to go back to our phone. I'll recap after a call or two. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Ilhan Omar incident, and everything about this stinks. I'll do a recap on it later, but I'm assuming most of you have seen this. This is the lead story, as far as I'm concerned, in America. All right, let's go. No, hold on. You hold on. Let's see here. Okay, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Scott. I'm calling from Kansas City.
Hey, Scott. What's on your mind?
Yeah, just fill in some information. It was breaking news on the program I was watching last night.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all wondering what the heck did he shoot at her, and trying to get any video footage they could. I saw, here's a question I have. Let me go to that. What would her security unit be for a congresswoman?
It looked like some local Somali Leering Center security guards. They didn't look impressive.
I mean, it's unimpressive as the lady Ghost
Busters?
Well, I've been around a lot of members of Congress over the years, okay, from the House of Representatives. Most of the time, in a normal situation, most of them don't have security with them all the time. However, she's high profile, and she's one of the most famous women in the world, right?
And a lightning rod.
Yeah, and there's a high level of tension in her district in Minneapolis. So there's no doubt she would have I would expect Capitol Police with her at a minimum, maybe Secret Service, but certainly Capitol Police.
I mean, I've met a few politicians. I guess the highest politician I was around before, while he was a high value politician, was the governor of Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see any security around him.
Usually a governor will have a state trooper.
Yeah.
But most of them, most members of Congress, unless they're under threat, they're like normal people. But she's not normal. She's very
not normal.
She's very high profile and controversial.
And the thing that I wondered was two things. One, somebody's got to make the assumption that guy could have shot a syringe full of
anything,
of anthrax or something
acid,
like that.
anything.
Acid, and she was like being this brave Somali warrior woman and taking swings at him.
Yeah,
which I'm just wondering if that plays well. But I just didn't see any kind of precautions with trying to get her out of there, get her away, because that guy. And if you're somebody who's about to throw your freedom away, you don't do it with some dim-witted.
Listen, when you're talking about members of the House of Representatives, these kind of things don't happen very often. They don't. This is a very this if it were real rises to the. Some of you will disagree with this. Maybe a lot of you will, but this would rise to the level of an assassination attempt because you don't know what that chemical is.
And if you're going to do something, you do it for keeps.
Indeed.
And there's a lot of other more. Well, this guy didn't sound that bright. I was going to say something about there was an assassination attempt in Tajikistan where some guy had a one-shot bullet in a.
Well, I want to keep it to this. The more that I go through, I was up all night following this because I wanted developments. I wanted to know as much as possible before I went on the air. And as I'm going through the facts that we had, and again, this is a developing story. The entire discussion this morning is based on what we know at this moment in time, right? And they're an hour behind us. And as the day progresses, more may come out. So so far as we're talking about what we know right now, but everything that this won't change. The way that this was handled is not how you handle a chemical or biological attack on a sitting member of Congress.
You'd have separated her from that crowd immediately.
And they booked him wearing the same shirt at the county jail. He would be in isolation at a hospital under police guard, handcuffed to a piece of equipment so he couldn't escape. And they would take his clothes for testing.
Yeah. Yeah, and he would have had guards with some kind of chemical lab or gloves or respirators, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And I didn't see that.
Exactly.
And had her removed immediedly. Instead of letting her.
Well, and also, when you are when you're faced with something, and there's when I got swatted a few years ago, and there were no, and by the way, the person justice was done. Okay, just so you know. But there were 50 armed police officers, including a SWAT team with AR-15s. Police officers with pistols drawn. I had 50 guns pointed at me. The lead officer, when the SWAT team came up to me in a line with the AR-15s and the shields and everything. And I had
really?
I had a backpack on my shoulder, I take to the radio station, it has my computer and stuff in it. And the cop was questioning me, and he said, "Are you Brian?" I said, "Yeah." And I told him, I said, "I'm on the radio." He's like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Can I put my hand on your shoulder? Because I'm about to pass out, because I have all these guns pointed at me." And, but anyway, when it was all over, the officer said to me, "The way you reacted was normal." He said, "As soon as I came up on you, I knew you were cool. Because the way you reacted was the normal reaction. To have all these guns pointed at you, ready to pass out, asking if I could put my hand."
Everybody else was in agreement.
It was. I'm not going to go through the whole story. I've told it before, but it was pretty hairy. They came into my home, guns drawn, and everything else. But they got me in the front of the house. But it's but the justice was done. And by the way, you go to what I found out. You know what happens when you swat someone?
What?
You go to prison. Prison for years. So, word of warning, guys. And I always press charges. Although in an instance like that, it's not up to you to press charges. It happens automatically.
A guy has a spot called the Quartering. He caught his.
Jeremy from the Quartering. Yeah, I know. I know who Jeremy is. But anyway, the reason I share that, which I don't really like talking about it, I don't. But when the officer said that my reaction was normal, her reaction was not normal. If someone sprays you with the chemical, you want the clothing off, and you want to be washed off. You would run to the bathroom, you would take off the shirt, throw it away, and start splattering water from the sink while you're waiting for the paramedics.
Or somebody would have got her out of there instead of letting her be this brave warrior woman throwing her fist.
I like how you said that. Did you come up with that brave Somali warrior woman? And she did say she survived a war.
She did?
She said that, yeah. She said, "I survived a war." Oh, okay.
I thought she immigrated to Kenya before coming to the United States. I
Well,
didn't know that.
what the truth is with these people's background, it doesn't really matter.
It's pretty sketchy.
Yeah, everything's sketchy.
But
as I've been talking to you all for over 2 hours today, everything about this stinks. And here we are, over 2 hours into the program, nonstop calls. Haven't had one Democrat call in and say, no, this was real. And not one Democrat has called in, not one, and to tell us that this was real. Have you noticed over 2 hours?
I've noticed it. And as well, will he be as mystery as all the other assassins, or would be assassins?
This investigation will be taken over by the FBI, the Capitol Police, and the Department of Homeland Security because of the substance. So we're going to have 3 federal agents. This is the Trump administration is in charge of this case. If they haven't taken charge yet, they will today.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it won't be like the Vegas shooter or any other shooter where everything's a mystery.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. All right. Appreciate the call. I got to run. If you are on hold, stand by. I want to tell you guys before we break. I want to tell you guys, and this is about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. A lot of people ask me about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And a lot of people compliment me. And it's amazing because I meet listeners and, a lot of people, listen to me on the radio, don't see me. A lot of people watch me on YouTube. And YouTube, on television, adds weight to you. And people tell me 2 things when they see me in person. Wow, you have really lost a lot of weight. More than they thought from even watching me on YouTube. Yeah. And the other thing I hear a lot from people, not just that I lost weight, a lot of weight, and I look great. I hear this a lot. You look younger. I hear that a lot. You look younger. Yeah. And go back, go on YouTube, and look at videos of me before President Trump's second inauguration. All right. In particular, go to that one where I did the documentary on the golf course assassination attempt. That was before Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And then go and look at me today. You'll see. I've got my jawline back. I got my neck back. I didn't realize, but I had a belly going on. I had partially obstructed view. When I looked down, I got a flat stomach. And I weigh what I weighed 29 years ago when my wife and I married. I have lost many inches off my waist in every part of my body. The clothes I'm wearing are so many sizes smaller than I used to wear. It feels great. I look great, and it's all natural. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, 561-247-6300. Consultation's free, guys. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Back after this.
Hello.
Hey, Barry, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey there. We have just over a minute. I was wondering, because that text I sent you, maybe if we could talk, unless you have something you really wanted to do, if you could explain the Medicaid planning and what it covers in a little more general terms than we might normally. I'm going to put you on hold just for a minute. Hold on. For new people that haven't heard us talk about what Medicaid planning covers, that's amazing to people.
All right, I'll just give an overview of this is what we do, but let me today talk about the Medicaid
Yes,
planning.
okay.
And give more details on
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah. People ask me about that a lot. That's like a shocking thing to people.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, stand by. 20 seconds.
Okay.
20 seconds.
Thanks.
All right, we're back, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Brian, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well. We were talking during the break a little bit about Medicaid planning, which is such an amazing thing that you're able to do for people. Could you tell people what Medicaid planning is and what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you have some new stations and perhaps a lot of new listeners. So just as an overview, the Siegel Law Group, we've been around for 24 years. And all we do is estate planning, elder law, and probate, trust administration, and asset protection. And what you're talking about, Medicaid planning, falls under the elder law division of our firm. What is Medicaid planning? It's really asset protection for people in their retirement years, and protecting them from what? Protecting them from the high cost of long-term care. As we age, the chances of either ourselves or if we're married needing some form of long-term care, whether it be at home, getting home health care, or in a facility like assisted living or skilled nursing or memory care, it's very possible that you may need it. And the problem is it's very expensive. So we need to look at what are the methods that we're going to use to pay for it. And really it comes down to, there's insurance called long-term care insurance that you can have, but you have to have it in advance, and it's very expensive. So a lot of people don't have it or don't have enough of it. The second option is to use your own funds, self-insure, but not everybody has unlimited funds. So you have a nest egg when you retire, and if you're going to be spending $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or more a month, you could run out of money or significantly change your lifestyle going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third option is government benefits, and the government benefit that helps pay for long-term care is Medicaid. The biggest problem, Brian, is people think, oh, well, I'm too poor. I'm sorry, that you have to be poor, and I have too much assets. I don't qualify, or it sounds too good to be true. Attorneys who do elder law, such as ourselves, do exactly that. We help people with assets, with means, with income above the limits, help shelter their assets in a way that Medicaid allows, so that you could still keep your assets and still qualify, so you don't have to pay all of the cost of that care and don't have to spend down your assets or leave your surviving spouse broke or near broke. So it's something that a lot of us really need to understand, and it's very worthwhile to come in for a free long-term care audit so you could see where you are now in that situation, and we can tell you if there's anything you need to do now to make sure that you're in a situation where you could qualify in the future if you need to.
Yeah, and I have talked to listeners that have gone through the Medicaid planning with you, and they're pretty well-to-do people in retirement, and that are in shock that they qualified. And you know, the biggest mistakes people can make are, one, what Attorney Barry Siegel said: assume you have too much money or too many assets and you don't qualify for Medicaid planning. Don't you know? I've been to your workshops, Barry, and I told you it seems like everybody qualifies whose last name is not Trump. You know, for Medicaid plan, it's amazing. And the worst law firm in the world is Google, and ask a friend. You don't ask your friends. They don't know what they're talking about. Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group, you have an entire team. I don't know if it's proper to say division. I don't know what the law firm terminology is, but you have a team that deal with Medicaid planning all day, every day, with many years of experience. And they know what they're doing. I'm here to tell you guys. So give the Siegel Law Group a call. It's toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we will talk later in the week.
All right, Brian. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. All right, back to the phones. There's one opening on the board where Barry Siegel was at, 888-465-2631. The topic at hand is the Ilhan Omar incident last night, okay? And we have not heard any liberals call in to even discuss this today. And here we are. I mean, it's 8:22 and 29 seconds. We've been on the air for hours and full boards of calls all day, taking nonstop calls. Not one liberal has called in to even comment on this today. So let's go to the phones and we shall see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
The thespians are at play here, as far as I can see. This guy is in the front row. He squirts it on her, and then he turns and backs up right into security. I didn't see an ultra slam to the ground takedown type of thing, but he backs right into security, and it's on her. It's not on her face because the makeup would get runny and all that. But you have to think about the narrative in our culture. Victims are not seen as criminals.
That's an interesting thing. When you say victims, you mean like the victim groups?
Yes, well, just victims in general. Like she's a victim now.
Yeah,
she was attacked. Poor Elon. So victims are not seen as criminals, and so all the stuff that's going on up there, who knows what she's got herself into? But now, she was attacked. She's the hero, but not with runny makeup, not in the face, please. And it just rings of it's just staged. It seems really, really staged to me. And the camera angle of this guy, I was looking at all the different photos. They're all using the same one. It's like it's like right out of central casting. It's like, perfect shot, perfect. It just seems way.
Well, it's an interesting thing because, when I'm doing my show prep in the morning, I spend a few hours going through the news, and all I did was read everything and watch everything I could involving this incident, right? My eyes couldn't look at anything else. And I knew it looked staged as I'm doing it. But as I've been talking about it out loud with callers for the last 2.5 hours, I can't find one thing that doesn't point to staged. There's not one moment that looks real to me.
Yeah, the more I've listened to the show, the more, I always like to leave, because we're just getting into this, but it's just so it's just so, it's like cut, again, the other day I was saying Act 1, cut, print, in the can. This just seems perfect. And the timing of it all, it's just crazy. I think it has to be. Now, this guy may be, I don't know, maybe he was, and we'll find out more about him, but, maybe he's just going to, he's somebody falling on the sword, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's just so contrived. And, I'll tell you this, though, Brian, like the mugshot, I did notice the T-shirt, but it is, I don't know what the procedures are in that jail, but I know, when you get booked, because I have been arrested. I spent a weekend at the motel.
Really? Wow.
Before. Oh, yeah.
What'd you get arrested for? What'd you do?
Fighting.
Okay.
Fighting.
I've never been arrested. I've never been arrested.
No,
Proud to say.
I was taken in. It wasn't, one thing you learn about that is you learn you don't want to go back. So,
heck yeah.
But at any rate, you get your photo, and with the stuff that you wore in. No, I don't know. It's freezing in Minnesota. Maybe they're doing something.
Yeah, but you didn't attack a sitting member of Congress with an unknown chemical in a syringe.
Exactly.
Right.
That shirt is that's evidence. Everything gets put into a bag. That's evidence. And
it's almost like they weren't afraid of exposure of themselves or anyone else.
Like they all knew it was planned and fixed. Yeah, that's kind of when I see that, when you brought that. I'm looking at the shirt. I'm like, that's the same damn.
You know what I'm interested in? I'm interested in who the cops were. It was Minneapolis, but were these the Somali cops?
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Good point, Brian. Absolutely.
They're very
To me, are they going to try to, where does the evidence, did that syringe go missing? There's all kinds of craziness.
Well, you think Kash Patel's going to do a good job here? This is his moment.
Well, I think that the FBI agents in that area have probably already, it's crazy. With the FBI, it's sort of a 50-50 thing. If you've got a TDS-infected FBI guy or area,
Bongino picked a bad time to quit.
Who's that now?
Bongino picked a bad time to quit.
Bongino.
This could have been the redemption case.
Well, I'm on the other side of that coin with the FBI and the DOJ, Brian. I look at it a little bit different than most people.
Listen, I got to run for a break. I got to get, but I appreciate the call. You make some good points. Are you living in pain? Go see Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, the first time he rid me of pain was 3.5 years ago. And it was knee pain that I had suffered from since I was in my 20s. And I was a passenger in a car accident. It wasn't a major car accident, but you tense up when you're in a car accident. I tensed up my leg, and my knee had been hurting me for years, especially on days like this when it's freezing cold, or those rainy days during hurricane season. And Dr. Appleton treated me for the first time with his laser wave pain treatment. And not only did he rid me of pain, the pain has not returned 3.5 years later. In total, he's rid me of pain 7 times, sometimes from injuries I've had from falling, arthritis in my hand. And, his laser wave pain treatment, there's no shots, no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. And my favorite part is it works. That's right, it works. It's a robotic laser, and what the robotic laser does, it actually moves around the area. Dr. Appleton, with his expertise, is able to determine exactly where the pain is coming from. Like with my knee as an example, the robotic laser moved around my entire knee, the top, the sides, the bottom, and all around, treating all around the knee. And beforehand, it was my right knee. I couldn't put weight on my right leg. And when I'm on the air, I always stand when I'm on the air. I don't sit. I always stand, and I would have to put my weight on my left leg. I'm right-handed, so I'm right-legged. I'd have to, during the show, and I had a chair that I used to lean on to take the weight off my body because I was in so much pain all the time for, well, years, 30 years, until Dr. Appleton rid me of that pain. Stop living with pain. You know, when I was young, I thought pain was just part of growing older because I remember my grandparents. Well, that was a long time ago. Dr. Appleton wasn't around with the laser away pain treatment in the 70s and 80s. Living with pain is not a part of growing old. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. He's also open on Saturdays. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins always welcome. Back after this. All right, it's our bottom of the hour break. Every line on the board is lit, so hang in there, guys. After the bottom of the hour, we'll go to the phones. All right, we got about a minute till we're back. We're in a radio station break. Every line on the board is lit, guys. So I'll go back to the phones immediately when we get back, okay? I'm not going to do any recapping because, well, I am, by the way, when the radio show ends at 9, I am going to continue for a while after. So if you're on hold when I sign off the radio at 9, hang in there, and I'm going to continue the show on YouTube after the radio show ends. You know, those of you that are new, I start early before the radio show, do a pre-show, and a lot of days like today, I stay after. So make sure you hang in there after I sign, because I got to say goodbye on the radio, but I'm not saying goodbye to you guys. But that's not going to be till 9. All right, we got about 25 seconds. Amazing. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dave from Denmark, South Carolina.
All right, Dave.
So that Ilhan Omar lady, I saw the video where she got attacked in the town hall, and holy shoot, that...
All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Sherry from Texas. How are you?
All right, Sherry. How are you?
Good. If you take a look at the movement of all the people, first of all, if you're at an event like that and someone sprays her like they did, why, not knowing what kind of substance it is, why would you run toward that? Why would Ilhan Omar also run toward, her behavior was very bizarre, and she's got a vulgar mouth.
Yeah, she does.
Run toward the person that sprayed her with this substance. I mean, the movement of the crowd.
She was going to punch him.
Suspicious.
She was going to punch him.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, why would you be that comfortable running toward the suspect who was coming towards you to cause harm?
Yeah.
I mean, and the movement of the crowd, I mean...
Let me ask you, is it just me, because I'm too close, is there anything about this that you could say, okay, maybe... to me, the whole thing stinks. I can't find one point that doesn't stink about the whole thing.
No, and shooting her in the chest, why? That wouldn't cause any harm. Why would you not go for her face, toward her eyes?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if your intent is to harm somebody with something, why would you go for?
But as a woman, you know that if a woman were involved in staging something like this, you would say, okay, not in the hair, not in the face, right? You don't want to mess up your hair and makeup.
Exactly. Yeah. No, this was. This was completely staged, and then they're saying they caught the suspect.
Well, yeah, they got him right there. He was arrested, and I got, now I'm really, she was trashing Kristi Noem at the time that it happened. And since this is a federal crime because it's a sitting member of Congress, and because of a chemical in this syringe, that's got to also be under the jurisdiction of Homeland Security. I hope Kristi Noem is all over this. I trust Kristi Noem. I trust Kristi Noem more than Cash.
I mean, take a look. I mean, here Trump was shot, right?
Yeah.
The whole his ear was about blowing off, and then oh my gosh, no, that was staged. Are you kidding? That was
But you know,
right?
when President Trump got up, okay, you could see the distress in his face, not just the blood, but also the distress in his face.
Yeah. Yes. Almost like, oh my gosh, what happened? Yeah. Now it will all come out in the wash. They'll either get it out of the person that they arrested, or I mean, they had to arrest him, right? Because if they
they got him booked. He's in the county jail. Yeah. What was that? Is that your dog growling? What's going on?
Yeah, that was my shepherd. I have two shepherds. They're territorial.
Oh, they're territorial. Oh, one of a guy on the phone. All right, hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Your dog's getting upset. I don't want him to bite the phone. All right, take care. All right, one opening on the board where the lady with the German Shepherd was. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Oh, Helen from Massachusetts.
Hey, Helen.
Hi. Hey, I think the reason why liberals haven't called in is because it hasn't been determined that this whole Ilhan Omar scenario has been staged. So they've got time to.
They haven't sent out the talking points yet, is what you're saying. They don't know what to say. They know like us it looks like nonsense and they don't have their talking points yet. Okay.
I mean, she ran toward him. He could have nailed her again, and they didn't even rush her out of there.
Yeah, and did she block her? Did she put her arm up to block her face, which would be a normal reaction as well?
No, what I saw was that she kind of waved him off. She didn't block. She didn't hold her arm. It was like she was waving him off. I thought she was going to smack him.
Mm-hmm.
But why run to the assailant? He could have nailed her again.
Yeah.
You know, and another thing, which I thought was so odd, she wasn't even rushed out of there.
Exactly.
They would have gotten the assailant on one end and then rushed her out of there on the other hand.
Yeah. No, exactly. And by the way, you don't when something like this happens, you don't have a choice. They carry you out.
Exactly. You want to get to a washroom where they can spray, you know, what they do for people, for example, who are exposed to nuclear waste.
Or in 10th grade biology class, right? Or you do in high school, they have the eye wash station with a shower that you can pull the thing on if somebody gets a chemical on them. I mean, this is normal. I mean, this is, you know.
Yes. I remember that. Someone pulled it in my biology
Oh
class
yeah, we used to do the same
college.
thing. We used to do the same thing too. Yeah, we had it in college too. Yeah, exactly. We used to in high school. We used to pull the shower thing down all the time.
But anything to keep the fraud out of the media.
Mm-hmm.
This is just diversionary.
Well,
as
see,
far as
this
I'm
week, her winery thing started to fall apart. Right, a story came out that her and her husband invested $15,000 in a winery that's valued now at $5 million. And then Benny Johnson, now I haven't seen this in any mainstream reports, but Benny Johnson has been reporting that the winery does not exist. That's worth $5 million from their $15,000 investment. So, so things are starting to pile up.
laundering to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like money laundering to me.
Well, that's how
if
they.
Benny's on it and he reported that, then he's probably right.
Mm-hmm. Probably, yeah. I haven't talked about it because I want to see it in some reporting other than Benny before I need more details before I go. But I did see the 15,000 investment is now worth $5 million. I've seen that reported in multiple sources. And come on,
such a short span of time, please.
that's a better return than Paul Pelosi and the Clintons on Whitewater.
You just read. I was thinking that.
Remember Whitewater? They invested the Clintons invested 10 cents, and then it was worth $50,000. That was play money compared to what Ilhan Omar's doing.
Or her cattle futures.
The cattle futures, exactly. All right, appreciate the call. Take care. All right, still looking for a liberal here. Let's see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. Spark from New York.
Hey, New York.
Hey, I just want to point out how big of a hypocrite you guys are. You guys are like, we need to investigate Ilhan Omar to the full extent of the law. Meanwhile, we haven't talked about Butler or the Treehouse or any perceived threat against Trump that.
I talk about that stuff all the time.
Not when I listen to your show, anyway.
Well, then
we're just forgetting about that. I think those were fake. I think he faked those.
Well, you would be wrong. Sure. You would be wrong. The president got not only did the president get shot in Butler, 2 MAGA men got shot, and one of them was killed in the stands behind. One of our regular listeners, Barbara from Baltimore, was behind the president when it happened.
Yeah, I think it's fake still.
Well, I think you're an idiot. Okay. Yeah, I got time for more calls. I mean, one man's dead in Butler. Give me a break. See what I mean? Notice he, our guy from New York didn't even address the Ilhan Omar incident. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Mary from Wisconsin.
Hey, Mary.
Good morning. I have 2 points. One is, with all the neighborhood watches in Minneapolis right now, do you mean to tell me that they didn't practically strip search these people going into a congresswoman's town hall?
Mm.
Another thing is, did you notice that the security guard came up and put his hands all over her, asking her why she wasn't leaving, to please leave?
Yeah.
He had his hand on her shoulders. That is suspect right there.
Okay.
And again, no one ran off. No one ran away from the scene.
Yeah.
They all acted like this was all part of the play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say. I wouldn't say everybody in that room, if it was staged, the fewer people involved, the better. But Somali people are very tribal, so they, I want to know who arrested him. Were they regular Minneapolis cops, or were they Somalian? Who actually arrested him and took him into custody and to the jail?
Are there any videos of the actual arrest?
Not that I've seen yet.
Yeah.
But I expect today we should get a lot more video.
Good.
All right, I appreciate the call. All right, I'm up against the break. Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for $24.95 a month for 5 years. Wow. All you got to do is call 833-283-5050. Your Sloman's home security system includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door or window sensors, a motion detector, notification, and remote keypad access so you can check in no matter where you are. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Call now. We'll be right back. All right, those of you on hold, hang in there. We got the gold report after the break, and then we'll go back to the calls. And I am going to hang over after the radio show ends today. So if I don't get to your call, stay on the line. I will take you. I'm going to continue on YouTube after the radio show ends.
Good morning.
Hey there, we have just under a minute.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep the line open, and then I'll go to you when we get back.
Okay.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking today?
Metal's looking strong still. Yesterday's a huge performance on gold, trading in a range of $5,009 on the low, all the way up to $5,191. Gaining on the day $170.30, closing at $5,179 the ounce. Gold blew through that $5,000, what everybody thought would be resistance. It blew through it like it was nothing. When you realize gold now is up almost $1,000 in the first month of this new year.
Wow.
Silver, $112.09 on the close yesterday. That was up $8.31. Platinum gained $69 at $2,647. Palladium was down $33 at $1,910. Overnight, we saw gold hit another record high of $5,312 the ounce, trading in a range of $51.57 to all the way up to $53.12. We've sold off a little bit. We're at $5,260 right now, which is up $80.40 on today. Silver up $1.56 at $113.65.
Wow.
Platinum up $13 at $2,660, and palladium gaining $60 at $1,970 the ounce. So the numbers just keep growing, and the demand for these physical metals is growing.
Oh yeah. What did you say gold is at this morning? What's gold at?
Right now it's at $5,260. That's up $80, and it got as high as $5,312 earlier this morning.
You know, and I just want to remind people in this audience, since in the time William Youngerman has been with us, when the day that William Youngerman did the first gold report on this program, gold was at $435 an ounce, $435 an ounce. Okay, and silver, I don't remember the exact price of silver, but it was below $10 an ounce. It was low, you know, and look where we are. And, you know, gold, it's real money. You know, it is real money that you could hold in your hand. And, you know, yesterday we were talking about something, and somebody asked me after the show what we were talking about. So I wanted just to highlight this, William Youngerman. You were talking about the two-way market. William Youngerman, you will buy back anything that you sell. And we were talking about that yesterday. Can you talk just a moment about that?
Absolutely. We make a two-way market on anything we sell. It's not just a one-way street here. Anything we sell you, we guarantee to buy back at whatever the current market is. And we've done that for almost 60 years now. And by doing so, we've maintained a wonderful customer base.
Yeah.
And a lot of loyal customers. In a time like right now where dealers have closed their doors to many of their customers, saying that, no, we can't buy anymore, and we aren't buying this, or we aren't doing that. We continue to put our customers first, always.
Absolutely. That's such an amazing thing with William Youngman. Another thing is, it's tax return season. Oh man, I can think of no better place to put a tax return into some gold or silver, man. This is great. Listen, William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. He's located in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road. That's immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, on the first floor of the Bank of America building. And when you go into the building, William Youngman is in the lobby directly across from the bank. You can call him no matter where you're located. You can do your transactions over the phone and through the mail. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And online, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. We want to say thanks again for the patience of our customers.
Oh, yes.
So many have been very patient, waiting in lines for us to get to service you. But continue to be patient. We will get to you, and we appreciate the business.
All right, take care. All right, William Youngman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll go back to the phones. We're talking about the Ilhan Omar incident. And we did hear from one liberal loon who's trying to tell us Butler didn't happen. Okay, okay. No, he didn't mention Ilhan Omar. He said, I don't think that happened either, he said. Oh, well, so he's acknowledging he doesn't buy it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Pam from Washington.
Hey, Pam.
Hi. I just wanted to say, so I'm a retired corrections officer for working in a jail for 20 years. And this mugshot with this guy with the T-shirt, if he was arrested with something like that, they would have done a strip search on him, and he would never have gotten to wear his own clothes under that uniform. And if he had been drinking, they would have done a breathalyzer on him.
Yeah, to me, when I saw that he had the same T-shirt on that he was wearing during the incident, that seems so dangerous. That's just natural instinct for you guys in the booking.
Exactly. But the picture of his photo, too, doesn't even look like a mugshot, really. Because, usually in a jail, when you have a mugshot, you have, like, the, your height on the wall. So you can see how tall the person is.
Oh.
And there's nothing on that wall.
Yeah. Blank wall.
That's, to me, a dead giveaway that that's not a real mugshot.
When it comes, though, to the chemical, can you fathom in any situation where they don't take the clothes of both the attacker and the victim and then isolate them?
They put them in a paper bag, and then they use it for evidence, and then they get it tested.
And you certainly wouldn't.
So the guy, they would have put in paper bags on his hands to protect him until they could test his hands.
And they certainly wouldn't put him in the county jail with all these other inmates and guards and personnel if there's some chemical involved, right? It seems very dangerous.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, you're right. The whole thing stinks to high heaven. And plus, Omar, if she got sprayed on that sweater, they would have made her take that sweater off somewhere to put it in a bag because it's got something on it that needs to be tested.
Yeah, and I've seen some...
You don't just wear it. If it had acid or something on it, it could have burned her skin.
And any time I've seen an attack of a public official where somebody is rushed on stage or something, they always put their arm up, which is the natural instinct to protect their face. She didn't do that.
No, she didn't. In fact, the security guy that walked up to her to put his hand on her arm, she smiled at him. She had like a grin on her face.
I'll go back and look.
Yeah, go back and look. She's got a smile.
A cool thing about doing a show like this, when you look at you're from professionals. You worked in the jail, so you know about how booking process goes. We have a team of experts in this audience. You're all. I appreciate it. All right, take care. Thanks for the call.
All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right. Before we go back to the phones, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Now, listen. I know a lot of you have made that New Year's resolution to lose weight. You can make that resolution come true with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I've talked to so many people in this audience who have lost weight, men and women, and I mean a lot of weight with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I did it. You can too. I didn't do any exercise. I lost about 1 pound a day. Didn't do any exercise. Didn't starve myself. Ate foods I would normally eat, and there's no drugs. There's no shots. There's no pills. It works. And because I didn't have any big lifestyle changes, now that I'm in this maintain phase that I've been in for many, many months, I haven't gained back a single ounce. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. They can help you lose weight no matter where you are located. Whether you want to lose, a little more than 35 pounds like I did, or 335 pounds, or anywhere in between, give them a call. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightloss.secret.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's Louise, the mask lady.
Oh, well, yes. You still wearing the mask?
Yeah, I haven't. No, actually, I took it off in my senior center.
Oh, okay.
But in Walmart or stores, I wear it.
Are you wearing it now? Are you wearing it now?
No. But Brian, I usually look to you for the latest news and so on if I haven't caught the news on
There goes
TV.
the jab. Yes.
But 3 hours of this nonsense between you and the callers, repeating and repeating the same thing for 3 hours. I mean, it really is maddening.
Really? Well, I've had you locked in for 3 hours, Louise. What would you? You just told me. How do you know I've been doing it for 3 hours? Okay, listen.
No,
what should I be talking about other than the number one story in America?
I want to know the president. Was that a live speech in Iowa last night?
Yes.
Oh, so nothing has even been mentioned about that.
No, this is the lead. The president said he thinks that this was a staged event with Ilhan Omar.
But to talk about it for 3 hours in the
So what should we be talking about?
Well, anything.
Anything but? Well, do you have any? Is there something in the news I missed?
Well,
other than the number one story in America? Get off the phone, Louise. What an idiot. Oh my goodness. But she's been listening for 3 hours. Oh my goodness. I love it. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Charles from Stewart.
Hey, Stuart, speak up.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Charles from Stewart.
Hey, Charles, what's on your mind?
Hey, I got 2 things real quick, and I know you're running up against the clock here. The first one is this thing with Omar. The thing is, nobody mentioned that, or maybe they did, that the reason why I don't doubt this is fixed is because the Democrats are into theater. They're into theater. They're into, like, doing everything in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make one point real quick. You know that photo? I could prove that fake news does exist. You know that photo of Trump after he got shot? That famous photograph?
Yeah, the fight, yeah.
Right, okay. The flag behind him, I don't know which news organization did it, but they brushed the flag out.
Really?
So that right there, that's considered fake news, because I worked in the news business. And if you alter a photo, it's not a real news photo.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah. That great photo. I have a picture. I have that picture framed on my wall right next to me in the studio.
Oh, it's a classic historical photo.
Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of T-shirts with it on it and everything else. I mean, it's he made it so. I was crying that day when they shot the president. I was crying.
Oh,
I'm not embarrassed.
It was a historical moment.
I was scared.
Yeah, like I said.
But I'll say this. I'll say this. Everything that President Trump is doing is why they shot him in Butler to try to stop him from doing it. Remember that.
Oh, of course. Oh, I absolutely believe that. There's a lot of things I don't put past the Democrats.
So do you believe that, do you believe Ilhan Omar, do you believe this is real or Memorex, this incident?
I think because, like I said, the Democrats are into theater, so I would definitely believe that it's fake.
Fake, staged, yeah.
Yes, well, because they're into theater. That's part of their big game is theater.
Mm-hmm.
So that's right there. But anyway, I just wanted to call you up and get you before you got off the air.
Well, I appreciate it, Charles and Martin, and MAGA Martin County. All right, take care. All right, well, we're almost out of time for today, but a lot of great comments from the listeners today, and I do appreciate your, because sometimes I wonder, am I too close to something? And am I so close to something, or my personal dislike of someone or something, is it making me biased? And we have 100% agreement in this audience, except for that one guy that said Butler didn't happen. Okay, but other than that guy, and he didn't even talk about it. He said Butler's fake too. I don't believe Butler either. So he's acknowledging that this was staged with Omar. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. I'm Brian Craig. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. All right, we're clear on the radio. I'm going to continue for a little bit. If you'd like to call in, you still can. I didn't play the videos during the show today for a couple of reasons. One, the language of Ilhan Omar. That's one of the reasons. But also, you can't show the video on the air. But I wanted to share this with you. This is Glenn Beck, and he was talking about the guy having the gun with the ICE agents. Listen to this, Glenn Beck, yesterday. Oh, here we go. Listen. Okay, so this thing of some people that are conservative making this a Second Amendment issue. This guy, we found out yesterday that Preddy had gotten into a physical altercation with ICE agents the week before that resulted in him getting broken ribs, and that he had been stalking them for weeks in his car. So he was known to them. They should have arrested and charged him for assaulting federal agents the week before. Then he would, he didn't have any ID. He was in illegal possession of the gun, and he was resisting arrest. Okay? You don't have, he was committing multiple violations, multiple federal crimes. The Second Amendment does not give you the right to go out and commit felonies with your legally purchased weapon. And a lot of conservatives, that they take this Second Amendment thing to a place where it doesn't really apply. This guy was illegally in possession of the weapon, and that he didn't have ID with him. You have to have ID with you when you have a concealed weapon. That is the law. When you're in possession of a weapon, even if you've legally bought it and possessed it, and you get involved in a felony, it's a felony to get into a physical altercation and obstruct justice with federal agents. That's another gun violation. You illegally have a gun because you don't have ID, and you're committing a second felony. This is not, oh, he had a right to be there with that. None of that is true. Glenn Beck is out of his mind on this. I'm sorry to tell you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hold on a second here. Hold on. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Trisha. Good morning. Trisha from Minneapolis.
Hey, Trisha. What's up?
Nothing. Just to go back to actually Ilhan.
Yes.
That's so fake. Oh my God. People see her like slightly nodding and a slight smile on her face.
The signal?
Security guard.
Where they're saying she could have been given the signal? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you would never in a million years run after the guy and try to act tough. And I mean, I watch Body Language Ghost all the time, and I could tell when I first watched that thing, I said, that looks so fake. She staged it.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I am, you know, again, we're, as we've been discussing this morning, it's based on the information we now have. Things could change later in the day. Something may come out later today or in 10 minutes. But everything we see as this is happening, there's nothing about this that is anything other than stinks to me.
Yeah, and Pam made great points. The retired police officer.
Oh, the corrections officer.
I trust her too.
Yeah.
What?
She was a corrections officer.
Yeah, it was great to hear from her too.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate the call. Well, let me play the video of this, and this is where they're saying she nodded. She mentions Kristi Noem. See, now this here, you can see the guy on the right from behind. You see this lady with the gray hair, right, on the phone, and then he's right in front of her. Okay, now here's the part where they say, when she says Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment, there's like a nod that people are saying looks like a signal. Let me rewind it. See that? Like that nod? I don't know, but that's what people, when they hear about the nod, that's what they're talking about. You see that? She goes after him. Right? Like she's gonna fight him. Now this guy here with the guy with the glasses right there that's next to her, he was sitting right next to I'll show you that in a minute, but he was sitting right next to the guy before the incident, right next to him. Yeah. Okay. Now let me show you. Let me pull this up because this is that guy that came up to Omar at the podium. Okay. He's sitting right next to the guy. Isn't that him? You see the glasses? Okay. So this is the guy. See the black guy next to. He looks Somalian. This is the guy with the syringe. Okay, now he's got, looks like a polo jacket he's wearing. Okay, so let me go back and pull up the video again and let's see, because he had a little polo logo with the glasses. Let's see if it matches the guy. I'm curious. I'm not sure it's the same guy or not. I'm just checking. No, it's not the same guy. It's a different guy because I don't see the polo logo. Because that guy sitting next to him is who you want to talk to. Because he was sitting next to that guy. It's not the same guy. But the guy that was sitting next to him is who you want to talk to. Because he was there with him. However, how long was this going on before it happened? Right? So, you want to know what he was doing, what he was saying, what his reactions were, and everything else before the incident happened. Let me see, what else do I have any other clips I wanted to, I couldn't play these today, mainly because of Ilhan Omar's language. Yeah, but let me play a couple more things I did not get to on the program today. This is an unbelievable thing. This is an NYU professor, and he's on this podcast interview, and he's talking about what they're going to do to ICE when they are back in power. Listen to this guy. NYU professor, the guy on the right. Wow. So they want to have Nuremberg-like trials for ICE officers when they're back in power. Is that what they're running on in the midterms? If you're new to the program, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Anytime in the studio, I'm taking live calls like I have been doing this morning. If you could like the video, and if you're feeling really generous, take the link and share it on your socials and invite your friends and followers on your social media to check the show out. I'd appreciate it. All right, guys, I'll see you later today. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for joining.